I'm so excited to talk.
By the way, my internet might randomly cut out at any time, at any point.
It's okay. We don't really need you.
Just cut yourself out.
Cut out of life.
That's okay.
Live for 20 seconds and nobody's notified yet. What is YouTube? Get on your shit.
Get on with it.
I can't see your stream
There we
at
go.
all.
It just popped up for me.
Hello there, everyone.
Oh, there it
How
is.
wonderful.
Oh god.
I mean, you gotta sound excited because this movie's gonna be oof.
This movie was great. What are you talking about?
I'm not playing by any rules for this.
I'm upset that Jay would even try and test this movie was okay.
Yeah. Also, the chat is not
I had
popping
too
up
many
on the
women in it.
stream. Is that by default?
Yes, that's the first thing we need to discuss. There were too many women.
Oh. Doesn't answer my question, but
There
okay.
was a 3-to-1 women ratio.
I saw that there was a woman on the poster, and then another one, and then another one. That is unacceptable.
2 of them aren't even pre-established women.
True.
Don't
Yeah.
you love the part where it's like, oh no, it's not some man, it's you.
They
You're a
said
woman.
okay. We shouldn't.
Don't hang
Like,
on,
we
sorry.
should structure
Don't you
this,
love
but-
that they made Sarah Connor sexist so that they could make the point that the movie wasn't sexist?
What, you mean the fact that she was like?
Sarah Connor automatically assumed that it was going to be some man, so they made her sexist so they could be like, no, we, the filmmakers, are not sexist. Aren't we
Doesn't
great
have
for
to
not
be
being
some
sexist?
man.
Mourn.
It can be some anyone. Dun, 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 dun. No,
Sorry,
that
remember
one.
that pre-established character trait that Sarah Connor was sexist?
She's a strange one in this film in terms of just what's going on there.
She made me hate her so quickly. I wanted to like her so badly, and like,
Well, she was amazing in T2. I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
I was gonna say the only reason why she. Oh, well, are we? What are we talking about right now? Are we gonna go in straight in, or we?
Well, this is the thing. It's going to be confusing. I guess we'll try and do talking about the film from start to finish, scene by scene.
Yeah,
But, there'll be some things
don't-
we'll want to talk about as like a meta in terms of a lot of things going over from beginning to end, like a character's.
Yeah, because I was gonna jump into something that was gonna what happens like 2/3 into the way.
Well, I guess
Why?
hang on to actually all of you. Pull up a notepad if there's anything you want to say, but you feel like it might be. Say it just.
How about that the chat is not on stream?
There's still
well,
no.
that's a good point.
Yeah, I said that like 5 minutes ago, but you ignored me.
I just figured it would come out by then. Like just give it a second, but
No, it's not.
The
really
spider web is still there.
Thank goodness the spider web is still there. I will fix that in a moment. While
all
I'm
colours.
pressing the buttons, why don't you guys give your overall first impressions as a whole, overall as a whole, overall
3
in
out
general
of
as
10.
a whole,
in a nutshell.
in a whole.
No.
A nutshell in a hole.
They made me not like Sarah Connor.
Wait, yeah, actually, let's do that. Alex was right. 2 numbers. What do you give it out of 10?
3.
Mel, what do you give it out of 10?
Yeah, I agree. 3.
Alex, what do you give it out of 10?
Oh, I'm gonna go for a bold 4.
Ooh.
I think I'll probably go
I'm
for like a
sorry, I can't talk to anyone.
3.5.
Well, I consider maybe
Centrist.
Genesis a 2 or a 3, so it's got to be above Genesis by at least 1 point, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Genesis is fun. Fucking movie. Terrible.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
very bad.
That's fine.
indeed.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned, just as long as it's above Genesis, but not above anything, well, below anything else.
This
Here
is
we
the
go,
first time I
fixed
feel
chat.
like saying I've not seen it will make me
Yeah,
earn
nice.
points.
Yeah, people will be like, "Oh, you didn't see it. Good job." But yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I'm only
it
gonna
was
say this.
pretty bad, but it was not as bad as we expected.
I'm only gonna say this the one times is because there's no point in repeating it a million times. But we're gonna spoil the whole film while talking about it. That's a good thing. Nobody should read
No way.
about that. But if you want to see it without spoilers, then don't watch this stream. It's also in the title. I have done everything I can to prevent you. spoiled of this very good movie.
I
Also
like
feel
how
like
you
no
put
one wants
spoiler
to
in the
see-
title instead of spoilers. So we're only allowed to spoil
Well,
one
there
thing.
is one spoiler, and it is for the whole movie.
Also, no
Sorry,
one wants to see
Connor,
the
shit,
movie
that's a
anyways,
spoiler.
apparently, because cinema was empty as shit.
Yeah, the cinema was really quiet.
Oh,
considering,
yeah.
Not
There were
really
3 other
surprised.
people in mine.
Three
That's-
other people than you. Wow.
That's
There were 3 other people in me.
See, if
That's
this
my record.
I said
was,
than you, not in you.
Oh,
if this was like Terminator 4 and this is like the sequel to Terminator 3, like they were trying to go for, oh well, 2 really, but if it was like the 4th actual one and it's been this long since the last one, I think it would like have a bigger turnout, but I think anyone gives a shit anymore.
absolutely.
Wonder
I
if,
think-
yeah. Well, honestly,
Salvation
I would have
Genesis
guessed.
didn't exist, yeah.
I would have guessed it would make money, this film, but I don't know. Maybe it won't. We'll suffer. I was made aware that apparently they wanted to make a trilogy out of this,
Oh,
Mhm.
God.
and with how it ends, you can see how that's possible.
Yeah.
With
You
them
need to be
preventing
ready.
Legion.
Apparently, yeah. All right, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of people in this audience who do not care to see this film. They're going to want a plot summary. So we'll go
Apparently
through
it's
the film.
made 40 million opening weekend. Is that bad?
That's probably good enough to make its money back. It probably costs like, I want to say 200, 300 million. So
That's not its money back.
no, but it's indicative that it will make its money back.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. So the film begins. I don't know if anyone's got comments on each of these things, but I'll have to summarize it. While they're showing us the opening credits, so like, you know, who made this film, producers, companies, and stuff, they're intersplicing it with the video from T2 where Sarah's talking about how the world's gonna end, which was strange to me,
Mhm.
and it felt really like, hey, remember Terminator 2?
Remember?
Every fucking scene is like, hey, remember Terminator 2? That's what it's a remake of
But
Terminator
it's-
2, but
I
with
was gonna say, it's interesting
whamming.
that there's not much at all in terms of references to Terminator 1. Like, Kyle Reese isn't mentioned at all.
Nah.
Yeah, and it's just Terminator 2 was the one that got Dream super. But yeah, I get using that video. I don't know. It's just to me, I'm just like trying to get to my nostalgic lands. Yeah, I'm gonna roll their worth, but it's also supposed to, I guess, be a message from the narrative, being that, hey, think they stopped Skynet? Well, maybe they did. That's the thing they're going for with this one. In the other films, they were like, nah, Skynet can come back in lots of different ways. In this film, they're like, no, they killed it. But another thing happened.
Yeah.
So is that a thing that, okay, I've not seen Terminator 2 that recently? Is it could you interpret from Terminator 2 that they actually stopped Skynet in the events of that film?
Yeah. Well, the idea is that they stopped. So, Terminator 1 was supposed to be a closed loop, as in, Kyle Reese comes back to save Sarah from a Terminator that was sent back to kill her, and thus creates John Connor, who eventually saves humanity and forces.
So was Terminator 2. Terminator 2 was a closed loop.
No. Well, Terminator 2 is not. That's the point of Terminator 2. It's trying to say that this time when they came back, instead of just protecting John, they're also going to find a way to stop Skynet from ever happening in the first place. And they do.
Wait,
The reason, because what happens in T2, they try and argue that instead of it happening in any way that it was going to, it happens sooner because they have access to the Terminator ARM and the CPU, if you remember from T1.
yeah, and then they stopped that, making it happen when it was going to happen anyway before, right? And it's
Well,
still a closed
I thought
loop.
their point was that stopping that and blowing up Cyberdyne and deleting all of whatever, they essentially stopped it. And it was supposed to be a positive message about how you can control your fate. Everyone keeps saying I'm cutting out. I'm looking at my mic levels. It doesn't show
I
that I'm
can
cutting
hear it
out.
fine.
Well, you wouldn't hear the same thing. They get it through OBS, you get it through Discord.
Fair enough.
Am I still cutting out,
Let me check.
chat, or am I fine?
You're cutting out even more.
Oh, someone said he hears me perfectly fine. So that leaves us with the end of the story. T2 is like, hey, not only did we actually stop Skynet's assassination attempt, but we also ended, there is no fate but what you make. We stopped Judgment Day as well. And that's why she says it in this film. And that's why in T3, when they were like, "Lol, Judgment Day happens regardless." It's like, oh, fuck off. Like, fuck you. That's why everyone was pissed at T3. Because T3 was just, he wants to continue the franchise. And then T4, people were less pissed, because it was like a new take on trying to do the war part, which is what everybody wanted to see anyway. And then Genesis happened, and that pissed off everybody more than ever. Like, literally deleting films and humiliating, or trying to humiliate the older films. That fucking line where he says you're a relic from a deleted timeline.
Yeah.
Me and Alex, me, Alex and Bell watched that the night before last. No, before we went to see. Yeah, it was the night before last. What an ironic line, considering what's happened now. The film that says "lol, you suck" gets deleted from canon. Like, get fucked. But Dark Fate has decided, okay, yes, they stopped Skynet. That did happen. You're like, okay. And it's like, but something else comes along. Which is having a cake and eating it, I guess. Kind of like the Better Call Saul of movies. They're like, hey, Breaking Bad stopped. It totally stopped, but we're also going on. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. I think for me, Genesis is like the sequel that no one asked for. And then this is just like, just another variation of it. It's just like, I don't know what they're doing. What's their plan really behind this? And you're saying like there's a
The
trilogy.
plan is money.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to be that cynical straight off the bat.
Probably worth me me explaining the first scene we get. I guess I'll just give it the old summary.
Oh no, this scene is great. This is the best scene in the film.
No, shut up.
I'm gonna do something else for the 5-10 minutes.
You get the old Terminator 2's finished. It's in the bag. Everything's great. Then apparently, all we know is Sarah Connor goes to a beach with John, and they look exactly the same as at the end of T2, essentially.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. John looks like he's gone to get an ice cream or something. I don't know. Just having his chill out day. And then Sarah's like got a beer. Everything's going great. And then Arnie just shows up and shoots John 3 times with a shotgun, and he dies.
Yay!
And Sarah's like upset, obviously. and Arnie throws her away, and then he just walks off because he's done. The machine has terminated its target, and that's it. That's our welcome to Terminator 3, technically, because they'd want to call it that if they could. I guess I don't know if there's a legal thing, but they have so many against numbers these days. Like, people way prefer subtitles instead of main
I think
title.
it's because they're embarrassed when you have like numbers
I
going
want
up
to
to 4, 5,
associate
6.
with T3.
Well, it's not even that. Just numbers like up to like 7, 6 is like, oh my god, like it gets a bit absurd eventually, doesn't it?
And honestly, it's a little bit like cruel as well. He shoots John once, and then he walks up to him and double taps him with shotgun again, and is like, "Wow, you really, you want to tell the audience he definitely did make it." And you're like, "Yeah, I get it." That is Edward Furlong's contribution to this film, by the way.
Wait, was he actually in it?
Well, I think they would have modeled young John after his face. I don't know if they filmed a scene where he did it in like some kind of.
I don't think they would have.
I don't know what's going on below me, but my floor is literally vibrating right
Please don't die.
Oh,
now. I promise not to.
So that scene alone, there's like 3 or 4 scenes that make me hate the film. Not as many as Genesis, but that's one of them. It's just like it's such a middle finger.
Hey, but without that scene, the film wouldn't be able to happen.
Wouldn't it though? Couldn't you just have John?
For John. For John.
Okay, yeah. We'll have to get
yeah.
on that. So
Yeah.
So next up, our new Terminator, not Terminator hero, spawns in on a way or something.
And kills several policemen.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I guess we'll just speed through this shit. So like, she's unconscious, our heroine, and police show up because she I guess she fucked everything up on like a highway. And they're like, "Yo, what are you doing?" But then they aim guns at her, so that gives her reason enough to essentially kill them all. Like, I don't know that she kills any of them, but she fucking wounds the shit out of them.
I don't think she cares.
No, I don't think she cares either. I get that impression throughout the film, and I think that we're supposed to believe that she believes that this is all to save the world, so it doesn't matter.
I get behind that, to be fair.
Mm.
Like if an equivalent movie came out where she didn't save the world because she wanted to let some policeman have a fighting chance, I'd be like, fuck off.
Yeah, she takes some people's clothes and just your standard sort of tip, bro. Though she's got enhancements, looks like a person for the part, and she like can scan shit. I don't even really know how to put it.
Yeah.
You get a view of her eyes every once in a while, and she like scans the crap out of everything.
She has zoom
She's
and
been
enhance.
hacked.
She has zoom and enhance. It's a very useful.
It is for spotting crashing drones.
So
Stop dropping her head, Jay. God. Wait.
Jay's got to get his
No,
sass out.
it was just a hypothetical. It wasn't anything to do with what actually happens in the film.
So then we meet our protagonist. I forget her name.
Grace?
Grace.
Grace.
No, Grace
Danny.
is the Terminator.
Yeah.
Not the not Terminator.
Danny.
Oh, Danny.
Right, yeah. Her full name is like Daniela, is it?
Danny. Blah, blah, blah.
Who cares?
Danny. We'll call her Danny.
Fuck her.
You're cutting out again more. I'm gonna have to get a little close to my microphone, I guess. There you go.
No,
I'll
go
try
back.
and talk a lot. So Danny, the wonderful Danny, is seen being kind to lots of different people. She's sorting out her family's life. She like helps her dad get things in order and gets her brother to do this, that, and the other. Like
will
get ready for
remember that.
work because he's late, and make sure her dad gets her pills. The film's way of being like, she seems to be pretty good when it comes to being a leader, if you may say. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's kind of like a leader thing, huh? How about that?
No,
She
it's
seems
not.
like she's going to give birth to someone important.
Oh my
See, that's
God.
sexist that you automatically assume it's to do with birth, Jay.
Well, that's what women are for.
Oh no.
Oh my
Fuck
goodness.
you know.
The views of JXI do not reflect the views of FUP.
The views of F are far worse.
Females right now.
Which takes us to going to work, I think. Which is just like some industrial plant, and then they make a big deal about how
Yeah, her and her brother, the car factory.
how
or
like
whatever.
robots are replacing humans. It was like, that's so fucked up. I guess because there's a lot of random bits of commentary, in a meta sense in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
know, but all of it's really thin though, so there's not much to say about it. It's just like, yeah, there's automation's replacing worker jobs. That's a thing that happens in the film, and they're like, no, bad. I don't know if it's also trying to say something about the machines in general, the Terminator law machines.
I think they just felt clever for including it because it was thematically relevant to the events of the film.
Machines
Yeah.
try to kill humans, and machines replace humans in real life.
The machines took my gerbs.
Look, it actually happens in real life. We're not that far off the Terminators.
Terminators are coming for us. Someone's trying to warn us. Oh yeah, of course, and new Terminator Man arrives too. Also,
yeah, boring.
was it always a thing that it freezes things around it when they teleport?
No.
I felt like
No, that's like a new like special effect.
Yeah.
Because before it was just like the electrical.
It was lightning and the burned stuff. I mean, literally burned things into burned holes
Yeah.
into things.
going
Yeah.
through time.
Wait,
makes it
this one
cold.
as well, but for some reason it freezes it, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
That's
because
weird.
Genesis has that one where when like the car drives through the bubble or whatever, or it just like melts instantly.
Yeah.
So it gets a bit more creative or different each time.
Well,
just
if
to
you
be like,
remember,
oh, look,
this isn't Skynet technology now. It's Legion technology. So maybe it freezes everything around it because that's just a thing that it.
yeah, but works pretty much exactly the same in every other, well, meaningful way.
So
Legion is such a cool and creative name.
oh, it was so cool. So like, evil Terminator kills Danny's dad, and then takes his face, takes his body, and it does the whole thing. Because he's like the Terminator 3 Terminator, except this time he can like duplicate himself. He's got like a core that's a Terminator, and then goopy goo that can come out and be a Terminator. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. That's
Or the film.
cool new You know that they were like, how do we make a cool new Terminator? We've done liquid and solid put together. How about liquid and solid, but they can come away from each other? You need a gas Terminator.
I quite liked the tit and
What?
let's go with that. I liked the tit enhancement Terminator from T3.
Oh.
But it's
Remember
worse
that
than the
scene?
T-1000.
Mm. I still love it at this point that they don't bother to explain why they only ever send one Terminator back. Like, they covered it in the first one, and
They've made it so much worse.
Yeah.
With
Well,
lore.
they suggested that they send loads of Terminators
gonna
back,
be-
but
we're
again,
not
I guess none
there.
of them find it.
Not
Mm.
there yet.
But it's
We're almost-
relevant to what we're currently talking about.
Is it though? Is it
Yes, and we are not almost there. That's like halfway through the film, at least.
though?
I do
That's like
drapes.
almost in the sense that time isn't linear.
Hmm.
Oh,
We're just time traveling through the events of the film. That's what
Yeah.
happens when we mention something out of sequence.
So like, both the what do I call the good Terminator?
Grace? No.
well, yeah, that's
Which one?
her name.
I guess that is her name. Grace. If people are gonna remember who we're even talking about when I say that, that's why I was saying good Terminator.
Or you could say the augmented human or whatever, but that's long-winded.
Fine, the augmented, the good guy Terminator, not Terminator is pretty much what she is. She gets to the workplace. Oh yeah, her brother's being fired as well. The main character, Danny's brother, and she's like, "Can't fire him. He needs to be here." And it's just like, all right, yeah, showing that she stands up for people as well. Got to get them characteristics in before you try and explain that she's like the leader of humanity and stuff. Makes enough sense. And then evil Terminator gets to their job and starts trying to kill everybody. He has a lunch bag that he's holding a gun underneath, I think, or in. Because I gotta make this clear, he can't make complex machines or guns or anything out of his goop. He can make up
Was
shit.
he actually holding that gun? Because I thought that he actually like formed that. I swear it showed him forming that gun, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
It looks like he's forming it,
Yeah.
but he's definitely holding it before he does that.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, I'll go with that
I
just
thought the
because
movie was worse.
they never.
Yeah, no.
Well, since they never get him to spawn guns ever again, it kind of
Well,
it's like
that's why I thought it was such a huge problem. Like, I would be
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
with them
yeah.
changing the rules. Like, okay, he can spawn weapons and like the guns now.
well, there was just so
But
many
then he
opportunities.
never does it
where-
again for the rest of the film. Like, okay,
But there's so many opportunities where he just like he chose deliberately to to form his hands into like spiky spears or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's like a gun would have just been better and more efficient. And as a robot, you should just been able to go on, like instant, like pinpoint accuracy, bang, dead. But no.
He like holds the bag up to the sun at one point, and you can see what looks like a trigger behind the bag right at the top. I think he's holding the gun the whole time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he picked up a gun beforehand and
but where did he get
concealed
it?
with him. Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't think they showed
So
anything.
he says "Buenos dias" to the. Oh, sorry. Can we just talk
Well,
about
how did he
how,
get the policeman's
can
uniform?
we talk about how unintentionally funny the scene where he drops down naked from like the middle of the building and sees a random woman there and just says "Buenos dias."
I don't know what that was. It's such a weird thing with villains in Terminator, because the whole idea is that obviously they are machines. They don't actually have any kind of personalities. Whatever they speak or do anything, I'm always just trying to figure out
How that helps them with their mission, essentially.
yeah, like it always has to be a pragmatic thing. So him just being like, "Hello," it's just like, I guess that's just to try and don't cause any trouble with regular people.
So he thinks that dropping out of the sky, fully naked, and
I
saying,
mean,
"Oh shit,
you have
this
to
is
do
going
what
to
you
draw
can.
attention."
What I will
But
say
I
is,
Why are they
Hello.
both falling out of the sky in this
he
one?
does form like spikes, or like a spike in the fight in the industrial place. One that basically there are several times in the film where he has a chance. Why can't he just throw a spear that he can make of himself? I can reference Genesis that they do that, but maybe that doesn't count because it's not canon now.
But like logically, he would be able to do that based on. What
I
was
don't see
Steve.
why he can't. Yeah, just throw a thing. Also dropping the heavy weight on him. Remember the brother does that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like, why doesn't the goo just immediately come off the body and start attacking them again?
because film.
Like she's like, that won't take him down for long. It's like, shouldn't take him down at all, and she should know that because she's fought like a million of these things.
Well, she uses a 12-gauge shotgun or whatever to take him down initially. So it's like, well, if that can do that, a car dropping on him would have enough force to do something.
Mm.
But then why can't it just mold out and just sliver away or whatever?
He gets better at being a Rev 9, which is what he's called, later in the film. Earlier in the film, he's kind of meh. Like,
The action scenes were decently done, though. To be fair,
what do you mean? Like,
I would say the way they were choreographed.
yeah, I didn't notice anything horrifically bad.
I
choreography.
thought the choreography was good. Just a very visceral action scene.
Oh, well, I have criticisms of not less the choreography, more the decisions of the characters in terms of fights.
Yeah, that was stupid as fuck. Yeah, they do stupid things, but the way all the action flows together, very nice.
Also, hello, Nedrotic. He said, "What is more complicated? What is more complicated, a human body or a gun?"
Oh,
And
no.
in fairness, he doesn't like copy a whole human body, does he?
It's like the outside of the human body.
Like if you cut him, he's still just meh.
Like a human body doesn't have any gunpowder in it.
Gunpowder and moving
Like,
parts. Yeah.
make any shape he wants. Yeah, but he can't make moving parts
fairness,
and chemicals.
They
and
never
stuff.
say that he can't do that, I don't think. Does she say he can't do that? Like, what I'm suggesting is that we don't see him do it, so we assume he can't, but, I don't know.
Make guns and stuff.
Yeah, like, he must
Well,
not be able to,
surely he
because he
can't, 'cause
fucking
they're-
should have.
So if he could, he obviously absolutely.
Oh, do you remember
Although
this?
Loads of stupid decisions in this film. Anyway,
I can't remember if there's more than one instance of this, but she has spider sense, the not Terminator protector person. She,
Yes.
he goes, "Oh shit," and looks to the left, and then he bursts through the wall as thingy.
I thought that was weird.
With the truck.
Yeah, and it's just
Does
like,
she do that consistently, or?
I don't remember any other instances of her having spider sense.
I like to
mean,
think
she
that
says
was an
some-
editing fuck up. Like they got the clips in the wrong order. Like it was supposed to burst through first, and then she
goes,
was
"Oh,
supposed
shit,"
to say,
yeah.
"Oh shit."
I mean, does she say later part
what-
that she has like super hearing or whatever? It's like, it's because you don't have
Yeah,
super
well,
hearing or something.
She could spot a UAV, like
I think
She's from
I
the
think
future, and
can-
she already
Sense in
knew
the
it happened.
sky.
She read it in a history book.
no, but she can spot a UAV that like X how far in the sky, and then
Yeah, but she could see that. She had a clear line of sight to that. The truck was
what's to
behind
say
the
she
wall.
can't see through walls or whatever. Like for
You don't see her being able to see through walls. Like
well, it smashed through a wall, didn't it? So that's how that's how they're portraying it. Like she looked,
Well,
saw
like
it,
Mel said,
and then
can
it
you-
came through.
Can you argue it's a hearing thing?
It could have been that too, yeah.
It doesn't establish that at all. It just
I
sort of
think
shows her going, "Oh,
she
shit."
runs off a whole bunch of features. Doesn't she say something about hearing?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I think
Yeah,
it's-
but
Okay, so there's some rumbling coming
to-
towards the wall. That must be.
Yeah, she clearly assumed very accurately from the sound alone what he was driving and what was about to happen. So I don't remember her doing it again, but yeah, that's what she do. So then there's a car chase. It's quite a long one. Got
Because Terminator.
yeah, and we could probably sum this up pretty fast. Actually, it's just like where it goes. Lots of explosions, lots of crashes, and then he works and runs away until the Terminator pretty much fucks them up completely. He kills the brother. I thought it was I thought they were gonna let him die in the terms of like he sits there and slowly bleeds out or something, but he just gets blown up because they fucking drive into him. I was like, oh, rip, brother. He's
like
gone.
like it's not horrendous enough. He has like a fucking thing spiked through his chest. Like,
Yeah.
There
go
was-
run away, and he just fucking crashes
Yeah,
into.
and the
To be
It was
fair,
like-
that's probably a better death. Like, I would rather blow up than die slowly from a spike through my chest.
yeah, because
No.
the Terminator like suicide bombed him in that car.
Yeah, I thought it was weird because it like disables the Terminator for a decent amount of time, and it's like, wow, he
Oh,
really
the-
went all in on that
The Terminator's
crash.
sloppy as.
Like, why would the
this Ter-
Terminator just jump out the second he's about to do it so he's like active?
I think he's like really sloppy throughout
So
this film,
about,
with like his
um,
execution of how he's like
Oh
trying
yeah,
to kill
every
them.
time he tries to kill them, he doesn't get a clear shot. Bother about that. He's like, okay, I'm here, I'm near them. I'm just gonna fire my weapons in their general direction and hope it hits. And that's totally not gonna broadcast that I'm here, and they're totally not gonna have time to escape.
Honestly, I don't know why they just don't make the Terminators like be rigged up so like they could just self-destruct and like make a huge explosion. All they gotta do is like run like
Because that would make sense.
Yeah, Alex, idiot.
oh yeah, but they wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do anything. And then plus, there's no evidence. It just well, it's all blown up. They leave no evidence.
But there was a thing in the car chase where I feel like they cut out loads of stuff that it would have been good to see. Like they did the quick cut stuff. there was a point I remember where Grace was doing a maneuver like around like the entrance to the highway, and she was like what was it, reversing up that or something? But they don't show her like turning into it. They just cut from like her being like threatened by the bulldozer to her going up the ramp, and you don't actually see like the important steps between one to A to B.
I have to see it again because
Yeah, I'm not. Mm.
Like, I'm fairly confident they cut out like important things that you would need to see to understand like the flow of the action scene in that. And it pissed me off. I was like, okay, I guess that's happening. Cool.
So then,
Yeah, for me, I was gonna say just for me when that was happening, I was like more just disinterested because like, oh yeah, they're just emulating another Terminator film because they can't think of to do anything else, you know, with what material.
No, they're
Does
gonna
it
put a
work
truck
with,
underwater.
like-
It's gonna be great.
How does it work with like, so he forms up, you know, the goo version forms up the Terminator himself. Then he has like clothes that like wave in the wind and stuff. I mean, this applies to the T-1000, I guess, as well. But I'm just curious, how does that work?
Yeah.
It's special goo.
Special goo.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
Nanomachine, son.
they get close to
Nanomachine,
losing.
son.
They're like 1v1ing the Terminator without a car. The brother's dead, and then, as you saw in the trailer, Sarah Connor turns up, shoots him with a short gun until he falls off the bridge. Then she RPGs or whatever thing she has into the metal version rather than the version. And then
She RPGs metal.
yeah, he made it. In hospital, but good connection, Wi-Fi. And so she looks over the edge, and he's like clearly impaled and burning, and she's like throws a grenade down to him, and then she's like, "I'll be back."
Do you remember that line from a good film?
Yeah, they do this a lot in this film. They repeat lines or they like do variations of the line or and then it's like, is this a homage or a fucking take the piss? I can't tell.
And like, I hate to like nitpick, but as well, but what's with the delivery being like, "I'll be back"? Like.
That's
Yeah,
really,
like-
that's a kind of like delivery throughout, isn't it? It's just like kind of like
She doesn't seem like she wants to be there.
No.
yeah.
Apparently she did, but I'd be willing to believe that she was, well, paycheck is a paycheck. I don't know.
Can we like, okay, I don't want to jump ahead, but can we acknowledge her sad face? Did that stick out to anyone else?
I turned to Alex about this, the scene where she's moping because of it's a bit of a jump ahead. We'll have to wait, but I'll bring it up.
I'm sorry, I could just see like her making that face. It literally just, that face looked to me like her director had just said into her ear,
Dude,
"You're really sad."
it looked like
No,
it looked like Pepe
sadder.
offended. You're the fucking you're sitting on the log with Pepe offended.
Yeah, it's just like, why are you sad, Sarah? Just like, my son is dead.
Rag sent me
I
a
love
message saying,
that
"How was the
scene.
movie? Not good. Bad."
I mean, this was a goddamn masterpiece.
So where were we? Yeah, so Sarah goes and tries to kill him. She just like, I don't know what her plan was, because she knows what a T-1000 is like. She walks down to the guy who's like covered in goo and reforming whatever in an explosion. She just walks down there with a shotgun. Like, yeah, all right.
Like, are you just planning just to shoot at it repeatedly? Like,
Yeah. Also, was that her kill box for this scenario? Because it's her kill box.
oh
Fucking kill box. How many times do they have to say kill box?
Killing floor 2.
So this is simultaneously like funny and stupid. So like, if someone turns up and saves your life while some homicidal maniacs try to kill you, just leaves their car, it's kind of like, I guess we'll take their car. Like, I don't know, why not? And Sarah like looks up to the bridge and she's like, "Ah, shit! They stole my car."
Yeah, I think this is a tonal issue throughout the film. Like, is it like trying to be serious or not? Because not jumping ahead, but it gets goofier at times.
Yeah, the film really
But-
wants to have fun while also trying to be super important.
Yeah, and it's not just like goofy one-liners. It's goofy like scenes for like in entirety.
My
Yeah.
whole body is a weapon. I'm sorry about your shed.
Wait, what?
Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
What?
Jay's reference what the Rev 9 said about the shed.
Oh yeah,
Shh.
trying to figure out what's other than just saying it's bad. So wait, did anyone else want to say anything? Because I was going to just move on to the next thing.
No, I think I'm good.
Sarah Connor at this point wasn't terrible yet, but we were getting like the seeds of
So
like
We find out-
she was in character as her terrible self. You don't realize who she is.
so Sarah's just left on the highway while they drive to a pharmacy, yeah, because the not Terminator has been augmented. She's not a Terminator, she's a human who has augments. And like, what does that mean? It means that they're stronger and faster and have regenerative abilities and super senses, but they also die if they get into a fight for about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Sounds like it'd be easier to build a
they
Terminator.
expel so much energy because they got such a like high functioning metabolism or whatever that like if they haven't killed their Terminator in like 7 minutes or less, they're dead kind of thing,
Now, in fairness to the film here, didn't it say that like they could essentially configure their metabolism so that they can, for like any task that they predict they're going to do? So she set it to be super high, so that like because she predicted she was going to kill it in the first 5 minutes, or not at all.
I don't know, but just if you go into it, it's just a little like handicap for Grace's character, so that she can't always be doing the same thing every scene,
It didn't even really matter that much. Like,
Yeah, I was about to
No,
say.
no, and they raided the pharmacy, and all the drugs that she dumps into herself is like the most confusing shit ever. Like, I feel like
This is like a
as to
cocktail of everything.
why she needs that specifically, as opposed to like if it's energy, why not food? Why not just pop to McDonald's or some shit?
Did they actually establish that she chose for it to be that way because she hoped to kill the Terminator within the 55 minutes?
I think so. I'm going to have to watch it again to make sure.
Because I don't remember that,
completely
but I
legally.
might have missed
I don't know. I swear it was more like the element of surprise. It's a you spring on them and you attack them and you just do everything. You unleash
She
your
has
best
lines
move
about
straight away to like get rid of it.
She
But
has
it's a
lines about
retarded-
it. Either
retarded
either she made that decision or someone else made it for her, but someone made it.
Well, it's retarded anyway.
She's doing a fucking defensive mission. She needs to escort Danny and protect her, but she can only do it for 5 minutes if she doesn't find
like,
the
and
fucking
then-
things.
And then Danny, who is woefully unprepared for any of this, then has to protect her. It's like, what a fucking rescue mission.
And like, from my perspective, I think they got it backwards. It's like, oh, we need to be at short bursts of powerful energy. It's like, no, long bursts of medium energy.
Are you
Yeah.
ready? Are you ready for people to argue that Danny knew exactly what was going to happen when she sent Grace back? So it all makes sense because Danny knew that it was all going to work out when she did it like that.
Wait, say that again?
So future Danny remembers all of this happening, right? So people are going to argue that everything that happens makes sense because Danny knew that it all worked out. So she sent Grace with all of the stupid handicaps because she knew that would make sense.
Oh,
Because that would work out like that.
I'm not following, sorry.
So basically, what he's saying is that as much as you can say it's stupid that Grace may have been sent with all of these handicaps, you can't say it's that stupid because Danny knew that it would work because she lived it,
Oh, well, fucking just.
But
We're
I would
watching it,
argue
we're-
that that's dumb because fucking still ends up dying, Grace. So it's like maybe,
Maybe send her with another power source.
yeah, a backup power source, that'd be pretty good. Or send her with that device.
Well, she can't. She can't.
Why not?
Like,
Why not?
no,
Shove it into a badger.
Shove it in where?
Shove it into a badger.
A badger.
Yep,
That's
Basically-
not what I heard the
basically-
first time, but
basically a
that would
wallet.
probably also work.
This is shove it into a badger is one of my biggest criticisms of Terminator as a whole.
Shove it into a hole.
Would you?
No, shove it into a badger.
A badger hole.
Yes, the badger's whole. So think about this, Jay. you're the Terminators, and you're like, right, let's send back Arnie in Terminator 1. Hey, should we send him with one of our advanced ray weapon guns? And it's like, no, we can't do that because the thing has to be covered in skin. And, you know, they could just generate the skin that they have been for Terminators this whole time and just hold, like, he has literally a skin handbag and he can put the gun in there.
I'm just imagining, like, a skin-coated gun at this point.
But,
like, yeah.
Like, I'm putting it out there. Maybe you don't have time. You go, okay, grab a badger. Grab a badger and just shove it into its ass. There you go, the badger will protect. It needs to be a badger, okay?
Shove it into a beaver.
Yeah, beaver would work. A lot of different things would work, honestly. Like,
isn't it just funny to think that when the Terminators made the the Terminators that infiltrate with the human skins or whatever, they made that and then made a time machine, and then it just so happened that they had to have human skin Terminators to work the time machine, otherwise they would have been fucked. Otherwise they'd just be like, why can't we work it? Anyone walks in, they just disappear, you know?
Cronenberg loves this idea. Yes, he would. He would have done it. But yeah, basically what I'm just saying is like, oh, this device will literally just fucking kill him. Oh, neat. Take it with you. It's like, nah. Okay. What do they say that the EMP is gonna? You know, we'll have to get. Yeah, I think it's really stupid that her handicap is that she literally dies on access to this miracle drug. Which, by the way, I think whoever just said it is right. They could have taken that out of the whole movie, and I don't think it makes much of a difference.
Yeah, because she almost immediately gets new medicine.
She has the medicine throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I thought the payoff was going to be the end, where they're really struggling, and Sarah's got the busted arm to a degree, and I was like, oh, this will be how they have to survive without, you know, when they're like, you go, you're the only one who can even throw a punch to Danny. I was like, oh, this will be it, but then she gets her ejection and she dies.
Yeah.
Later, so
You forgot that in the plane.
I assume it's like a rewrite or something, and they just couldn't be bothered to dig it out because it literally serves no purpose to the story. I mean, they even have her keep like the syringes. She keeps having those for contrived reasons. Like Arnie is like, "Oh, you dropped this.
You forgot this in the plane."
And like, oh, what
the guys who searched it didn't take it off her. Yeah,
the scene where she gets detained, like someone literally comments on it, like, "Oh, you really fucked up this search, didn't you? Look, she's got 2 syringes. Oh, wow, I wonder if she has those because the plot needs her to."
How do you not search for that when it's people crossing the border?
Jumping a bit ahead, but if you go back to when Grace has her treatment in the hotel, so they get a motel, because that's in every Terminator film too.
Yeah.
What's their solution to treat this fucking augmented human? Not an ice bath, but an ice bed bath.
Ice bed.
Yeah, I don't.
But have you seen the bathtub?
Yeah, and then they dump her in there on there, and then they just inject it with every fucking piece. Well, every
we're kneeling
drug
to that.
from the
That's so
pharmacy.
stupid.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah. We're just assuming these dosages are like, well, we know, oh yeah, this won't kill her. It's like, oh, let's just give it a little bit of everything.
Yeah, if they're like normal medicines that people take, it probably won't kill her, but
I bet insulin is in there. You can definitely overdose on that.
Well, don't give her enough to overdose on. Like,
didn't she just shove it all in though?
Yeah. And apart from that, it's like, what's insulin for? Oh yeah, to lower her blood sugar. It's like, what? Did she have like a really heavy meal? No, she just fucking. If anything, she's expelled her energy. She needs to eat, not fucking lower her sugar levels even further.
I don't know how that works.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And fucking they didn't care to explain how it worked because they eyeballed it and they just worked because at the next scene she's walking, and it's just like, you know, oh, we saved you, ta-da!
Crisis averted.
Yeah, Sarah turns up. I don't really know how she found them.
The coordinates.
No, she knew where the time travel happened, which
text message from it.
No. I'm talking about when she turns up at the pharmacy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, can I just bring up what would change in this film if you removed Sarah completely?
I mean, plot-wise, nothing really. You just have to. All of her fighty moments have to go to somebody else.
Yeah, she's just a passenger.
Character-wise,
I mean, I'm sure someone would argue that Sarah goes on some form of a journey in this film.
no, she doesn't. She doesn't have a fucking arc. I guess we'll get to that. She doesn't
All
grow
I'm
at
saying is-
all.
She talks about the tropes of the film that she expects to be in, and then the film subverts it by not doing that, and then that's it. But she's a passenger in this film.
The
She doesn't
film
have
makes her stupid so that it can be like, hey, no, we're clever. Sarah's
Mm.
being dumb. We're clever. Shut up.
Also, she says she can't be tracked because she keeps her phone in a packet of crisps.
And then
Yeah.
throws Danny's phone out of the window.
Yeah, which wouldn't prevent that from being tracked. No, sorry. Doesn't Arnie say at one point that like keeping it in a packet of crisps doesn't do shit?
No,
I
he
think
says
so.
if you keep it
He
in
implies that, right?
a crisp bag, keep it in a crisp bag. That's what he says.
Well, the implication being that he can track her every time she.
Pretty
yeah,
much,
and send her text messages to give her to steer her into her path or whatever.
Fair enough. I didn't know that foil could actually do what she says it does.
Well, are we assuming that it can? Are we assuming that the film is right here?
I guess.
Because I don't think we should assume that.
Look,
I guess it would just be a quick Google. We could find out.
well,
I guess that's
listen,
people
listen, I can
do
explain it.
photos.
So when you got like aluminium or silver in the walls, like for insulation or other things, that can affect with the mobile signal. Which is why, like in certain buildings with like in certain parts with walls like that, you can get it can fuck with your signal. So yeah, if you just entomb a phone in that, it would do that.
So, okay, no, can we talk about how they characterize Sarah Connor as a complete asshole for no reason in this film?
Don't you get it? She's lost John. She has nothing to live for except killing Terminator. She's a hardened badass.
Okay. Hand me your phone. Cool. Throw it out the window. Oh, I keep mine in a chip packet, which I have with me, but yours needed to be chucked out the window because fuck you.
It's a fair point. Why couldn't she just fucking buy another packet of crisps?
Or put it in the same packet of crisps.
Well,
Crisp
I might
packets,
argue,
crisp packets are
really
bigger than a
likes them.
phone.
I might argue that Danny was the target. Sarah is just the grizzled vet who is not is off the grid.
a little bit riskier to have.
But if it
phone, I guess.
works, then either she believes it works or she doesn't. Like, come on.
Well, after a certain point, what does she need a mobile phone for anyway? When her family's dead, and
Well, it is
she-
technology. Who knows what they could use it for?
Well, yeah,
Fucking-
as a general tool, I get it. I get it, but it's not like anyone else didn't have it.
I'm sorry. Something has just come to mind, and I feel like we won't remember to talk about it if we do this all chronologically. Can we talk about when
That's what
the
the
evil
notepad's for,
Terminator?
Jay.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
Do the notepad.
I'll just write this in the
He
notepad.
didn't
and
make.
then-
He didn't say it for our fucking entertainment.
So we are graced with a flashback where it's post-apocalypse and they're carrying a general guy to safety, and then a bunch
Well,
of
there wouldn't have been
Terminators blow up everybody.
a general woman to safety.
Oh my goodness, a whammons. How you doing?
Hello.
What's
Oh,
up,
hello.
fellas?
I noticed you film. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just last night.
Yeah, we
I've
watched
ne-
it yesterday in the big screen. It was so worth the money.
Yeah, we
Oh
went,
god, I feel sorry for your wallets right now.
but we had each
£5
other.
for
It was
this.
fine.
Yeah, we laughed.
I had all three people with me in the screening of this film that just came out.
You guys are so lucky. I didn't laugh once in this. Well, no, actually, that's not true. I did.
Not even at the
one
flight?
time. I did laugh at something, but I'm not gonna. I don't know if you guys got into that part
Oh,
of the movie
we're-
yet, so I'm not gonna say
We're
what
quite
it is.
early, so you'll be alright. But yeah, we are going like, well, I explain a scene, then we fucking rip into it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're on right now is that first flashback where she saves General Man, whoever, and she gets blown up doing it, and she's covered in like blood and shit, and then she's like, I volunteer for the augments or something, and you're like, what? And the thing I found funny about it, I was like, is that how that works? Like, whenever you're close to death, you could be like, oh, fuck it, augments. You're like, it sounds like a thing that people would have to be in good shape to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
Well,
so out of
still, like,
nowhere.
that's the thing they should just fucking do anyways because it's very fucking effective.
But
Cool.
yeah, it could
Yeah,
just be
it was-
RoboCop. It
You
should
can
just
fight
be-
Terminators, and they get attacked by
Yeah.
Rev 9s regularly, apparently.
Because
As I say,
we,
yeah,
we led to believe that they're like in a crisis scenario right now, and they have the technology to make augmented humans. Don't you think like a fuck ton of people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to be augmented? Hello?
Well, Well, do you like as well that I thought they were going for a sort of like there's just this injection or something and it fucks with your biology completely and people only do it when they're on their deathbed or something. But it's like, no. They cut to like a sterile room, everything's calm. She's like okay in terms of there's not blood everywhere and she's having this surgery performed. It's like, oh. So what about that explosion made her finally go, that's it, augments, blah, blah. Just like, it's just, I don't know.
I swear I don't remember the scene of the surgery.
Yeah, it's right after. It's like just flashes of like a doctor looking at her, and then looking at her on a table.
Yeah, they
Everything's
have
calm.
I would almost swear that scene wasn't in my cut that I saw, but like I don't see why that would happen. So I guess I'm
She's
just remembering it.
She's such a blank slate as a character. You don't understand half the shit she fucking does.
I'll agree with that. Also, what's with the Rev 9s in the flashback having like tentacles?
Oh right.
Our guy doesn't have tentacles.
Yeah, like our guy should have well, I guess our guy is mostly disguised as a human for like a lot of the time, but that's
whenever he's not,
to not have tentacles the rest of the time.
He handicaps himself for
it's like
reasons.
They were really effective as well.
Yeah, no, they stabbed. That's what led her to getting the augments or whatever. It's like stabbed by tentacle.
Getting the augments.
It's very well. That's what I mean. That's all we know about it. It's just like, oh, the augments. I'm augmented now, and it's like it makes you OP enough to be able to kill Terminators.
But only for 5 minutes, and then you die.
Do you think that's why they have that? The only 5 minutes thing is to try and make us go, oh, that's why not everyone gets it. That's why.
But there's literally no plot significance to not everyone having it.
Yeah.
I don't think they.
And
if they said, "Oh, everyone in the future is augmented," it would be fine.
Yeah, even then, we still believe that it's a post-apocalypse because you still.
What I can go ahead.
I was like, it's much more problematic to send back someone who needs constant care and constant like sustenance. Like, if I don't do this, I'm going to die in 5 minutes. They did a better job sending back a regular human 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
he didn't need like, oh god, you know what? If I don't have my blood sugar up, like I'm gonna die. Someone give me an apple or something, so I can fight this Terminator.
Well, like I think we'd all agree that the kill for the Rev 9 goes to Arnie mostly, and then it also goes a little bit to the core, the power core, which isn't necessarily got anything to do with Augment Girl. Like it's just a power core. Like,
let's look at it from a different perspective.
If you can,
with the augmentation, what are they using in their future where everything is fucked to bring them back to life or to functionality? I don't think they have like a lot of antibiotics and
yeah, it's surprising they have this
shit.
kind of technology, and yeah, they're supposed to be able to maintain people with all these kinds of medicines in a post-apocalypse. Yeah. Wow.
Like that could have been like a one sentence thing. It's like, oh yeah, we can't use them all around because we don't have enough meds to keep them alive.
Yeah, but when they did the whole surgery with when they did the whole surgery with Grace's augments, it like you saw like the resources they had. Like it didn't look apocalyptic at all. It looked fucking like dystopian future.
Yeah, you're right. They have like spider fly things that land somewhere.
This is it. They have lots of like little things like this, but they don't really like add up to anything. It's just like flavoring that they don't really care to explain or give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Like how?
Because on one hand they say everything just stopped working at some point, like the fucking plane crash.
Yeah, on day one, it's like everything turns off apparently.
Yeah, instead of nukes being launched,
that's day 2, and then day 3 is war.
Right.
Yeah, day 3 is everyone's cut the power. Who did it? Oh fuck it, let's just kill everyone. Good job, because
yeah. What we're saying is nothing makes sense in this movie.
Can we talk about the fact? Can we talk about the fact that they think it's easier to cut people open and fill them with robot technology, and apparently that's easier and more effective than building robots.
Well, a T-800, which is apparently extremely obsolete now, like way more of a threat to Mr. Evilman than our augmented person, because you can't even survive one fight, win or lose. Like, how crap is that?
Well, yeah.
Whammon.
Say when?
I said whammon.
Oh.
Might as well send a fucking kamikaze bomber in that general direction.
Yeah, I
probably
guess,
more
just,
effective.
just run in and blow them up. You
Yeah.
know, job done.
Why not
No,
send her
you
with
know.
an EMP inside her?
Well,
You know, EMPs aren't like they can't be that hard to come by, can they?
I mean, if they get shot right away every time, like
But
in
you
the
can
movie.
literally build an EMP. You can literally find a tutorial to build an EMP emitter on YouTube.
Not everyone has their major.
just get a microwave and just throw it at them.
Throw a
Hang on.
microwave
Yeah,
and put a grenade inside a microwave.
Guys, you're using too much of your brain. It's easier to
No.
send back a gender androgynous lesbian diabetic with 5 minutes of life. That's how you do it. That's intelligence. That's what's gonna win wars.
So they as Alex mentioned, they put her on a bed, they pour ice over her, and they just say, "Don't put her in the bathtub because it sucks. Bathtub is shit."
It's dirty.
Okay. And then they just inject, and the girl is like, "How do you know how much to give her?" And she's just like, and gives her all of it.
How do you know how
She
much
doesn't
she
give her
she
all
needs?
of it. She just
I don't
guesses,
know.
doesn't she?
Well, she just guesses an amount.
Yeah,
it's
and
just
then
like,
it cuts.
okay.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the next scene of Grace just walking around, just like,
Yeah, Grace is
I'm
fine.
better.
Not to mention, she
Yeah.
pulls the gun on Grace, and she's like, talk fast.
And talk
Oh, yeah.
fast.
And she immediately fucking disarms her and puts her in, like a rested
like-
position.
He's like, you would have hit old lady, would you? Oh.
I don't get it. Like, how retarded is Sarah? It's like, yes, I'm gonna put a gun to a person while I'm a meter away from them. They can easily grab it off me. She doesn't even fire.
That's such a trope, though. I hate that trope of
Yeah.
I'm gonna. That's the thing. Like, it's not
Oops, sorry.
a trope because they need people to be able to disarm other people. It's just like, oh yeah, in movies, people will always hold a gun like directly to someone's head, like point blank. Even that's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And it's just a flip of the coin whether or not the person actually disarms them or not, because apparently people can't think, oh, this is a ranged weapon I'm holding.
So something that
Yeah,
was changed because I was waiting for it. She says that I stopped Judgment Day in the trailer. She doesn't say that in the movie.
Yeah, I remember. I
Say
actually remember that
we
too.
in the movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What?
That happens a lot in films nowadays where they cut out trailer shit and it just completely, doesn't allude to anything then.
Wasn't there like lines about them having a dark fate in the trailer that didn't make it into the movie? Like,
Yeah, they
think
definitely
so.
didn't actually. They mentioned obviously the word fate, but they never said dark fate whatsoever.
let's think in the trailers. I swear I remember them showing like I saw it was like Sarah or someone saying oh, we stopped Skynet, but the machines still come. We still have the same dark fate, and that line just wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, probably because. That was a shit line. So.
Probably because
Like retarded.
Movies are talented.
rebellions are built on hope.
No. So the fucking apartments. No, not apartment. Whatever it is, motel scene. Does anyone remember anything from that? Because I
Come
think
again?
she
Sorry.
like Sarah explains her history. Oh yeah, she says that I'm gonna say like at this point in the film, she says all she does these days is hunt Terminators, and so
Yeah, and
as a
drink.
viewer, you'd be like, what the fuck? Hunt Terminators? How does any of that work? We'll get to that a
How
little
many
bit later.
fucking come back? That's like
Well, we'll get to that when fucking Arnie fucking lore dumps us. There's a lot of lore dumping in this film, and it's so tismy. Like, you listen to all of it, like, none of that makes any sense. Stop it. But yeah, they decide that the three of them need to get to these mysterious coordinates, and in order to do that, they have to pass over the Mexican border, and to do that, they have to get to a friend.
Yeah, but how
Apparently
do
able
they
to do-
find that out? With future shit.
Oh, right, yeah. So, basically, there's coordinates tattooed onto Grace, or not Terminator person. Apparently,
Yeah.
she just put them on there. But simultaneously, Sarah explains that she gets texts from somebody who tells her where Terminators are, and she kills them. Like, she goes to a place, the Terminators spawn in, and she kills them. That's just a thing Sarah's been doing this whole time.
she's been spawn camping then.
Yeah, it's kind of
pretty
cheap,
much.
Sarah. Kind of.
Fucked up.
And
Okay.
that actually explains how she found them, but not entirely. Like, it was weird for me because she said she
So-
gets two coordinates, right? So one for evil Terminator, one for good Terminator. Did she turn up to either of them?
No.
Oh.
She was at a random bridge that was like, I guess, somewhere like slightly near where they turned up, but
Like she
not
Yeah,
didn't
really.
was
spawn.
late.
She didn't spawn kill either of those two, and she also managed to turn up at the right time to, well, the last moment to
Does-
save him.
There's loads of dumb shit about Sarah.
Like I don't understand any of that, but okay, yeah. So they decide that's where they're going. But Sarah says, you know, it's encrypted, the texts, and so it's like, oh, we can't trace whoever's sending them then. But our helpful
She already has
Terminator,
done.
non-Terminator,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
he puts the phone. She takes the back of the phone out and she puts it on your hand, and then Sarah goes, "What are you doing?" She says, "Future shit."
I love that line. It's like,
Fucking screenwriting 101. They
Yeah,
put
do you remember when Kyle Reese in the first one made pipe bombs and he explained the whole method behind making them and the
had all the right
resources?
materials, and you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good character with intelligence.
Can you imagine if he
It was
saw
also
that,
a better
Sarah-
movie.
Yeah, I know, of course. But can you imagine if Sarah saw him doing that, making pipe bombs, and she asked him what he's doing? He went, "Future shit."
Do you remember Future? Do you remember when we watched Shaft last night? I recommend. It's fun. Good film.
Yeah, it's really good.
Shaft.
Yes. There's a moment in the film where there's a character who's, you know, cool and aloof, and a character who's a bit nerdy. The nerdy character's like, I gotta do some hacking, but obviously he doesn't say that. He says a whole bunch of words that some of them would just never be applicable to actually doing it.
Yeah.
He used quantum. literally.
Quantum while hacking
So,
or
like,
something.
What I assume is in the script, they would have written computer shit, and then an actual person to redraft would have written in, oh yeah, the quantum field needs to be accessed through the binary matrix. Something like that. I feel like in this script, they wrote future shit, somebody will change that, and then nobody did.
Chef just goes, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, future shit. And yeah,
Like,
so...
I feel like in this film though they have the mentality of, hey, you know what's cool? Bad
Future shit.
words.
Yeah.
Like every
Also, it's the
scene, that
chef
they're, like,
from this year,
every
for
scene
anyone
that they want to
wondering.
seem they make seem cool, they put a fuck or a shit in it.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
that's mostly Sarah, isn't it? Sarah's just going, fuck shit.
Yeah, she's the crotchety old grandma who doesn't want to be there.
You
And that's
metal
honestly-
motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
line.
yeah.
Like, the movie thought that line was so cool. Like it's like, oh, she called the Terminator a metal motherfucker. Like, oh, we spent so long thinking of that.
Well,
I was so offended by that line.
the way I would sum up Sarah Connor in this film is she's the cartoon version of Sarah Connor from T2, whereas like, what was Sarah Connor? She's like, she shot guns. Oh yeah, okay, she said badass stuff. Okay, like what else did she do? It's like that was pretty
She
much
was
it.
irrational.
She was an angry
yeah, she
person.
was.
She made jokes. Like no.
And now she just drinks. Yeah.
Until she blacks out.
Yeah, it's funny. She's like, I hunt Terminators and get blackout drunk. It's like that's all you could do for her, really. I bet the writers are proud. Like we did it. Yeah, that brings us to the next lore dump, by the way, because they're on the train and he starts.
We're already on the train. Oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, well, in fairness, that's only like before the halfway mark, I think. The train.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah,
like
can
a
we talk about the fact
like a
that-
span of things where nothing really happens. They're just talking and lore dumping shit on us. Like, can we do something, movie, please? I'm bored.
Since we're like to the train park, can we talk about the fact that Sarah Connor apparently just goes random places with like enough artillery to fucking like take on a small army, and just doesn't get arrested? And apparently he
Stays
doesn't.
under the grid. Stays off the
apparently-
grid.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is the point where I'm like, okay, fucking what? She's like, we're gonna need a way into the US. Like, you don't have one of those? Like,
Yeah,
how?
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
if fucking you get a text saying for John, it's in the US, you were just like, oh fuck. Well, I guess I can't go there.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
guess the world's going to shit.
I guess we should explain that before the reveal, but each of these texts that explain where Terminators are spawning in, she gets a message on her phone that ends with, for John. Like,
Poor John.
okay. But yeah, then Grace, not Terminator person, explains that, what is the lore dump on the train? She's just saying that, like, the world fell apart because, oh,
It's
right, it's
your
the Legion one,
womb.
isn't it? So Skynet's not a
Yeah.
thing anymore. Skynet did die, but unfortunately, one day, with no warning, everything just got fucked. Phones, technology, everything, nothing works anymore. And then the following day,
weaponized AI
Oh,
thing.
no, hang on. Yeah. And then
everyone nuked each other. And then the following day, everyone was at war. And
No, there were no nukes this time. I'm pretty
sure she said that there was nukes.
I don't
Yeah,
think
she
so.
said, no, it was nukes. It was day one, like the phones and the electricity and all, everything stopped working. I remember it because of how stupid it was. Day one, all of the power went out, everything stopped working. Day two, the nukes were fired, and then she said, and then day three, it was war.
She mean with the Terminators, or did she mention Russia?
So it's okay. So I'm just. My thought is okay. So the nukes were fired. That wasn't war.
That wasn't
Why
war.
did the nukes work?
All of the world's nukes are fired. And that's not World War. No. The day after that, everyone's like, "Oh fuck, we should do something about this."
It's so lame, and it's because they don't want to explain it. They're just like, oh, it's Legion. It's not Skynet, I swear.
Legion.
Such a gay name.
Like, as we talked about in the beginning, the
Like
only
an
reason...
AIDS Legion.
AIDS Legion.
Okay, that was a little much.
The only reason they did this
Right,
was
I see
because
when
they
you
weren't
get it.
allowed to bring back Skynet. They were like, Skynet's big gay, we can't bring it back again.
Yeah, this is a future that's been killed, and
We need something different.
It's called not Skynet.
You may as well
Not
call it.
fair.
It's the exact fucking same thing. They have the same...
they
Yeah.
have the exact same design for the faces. They don't. It
Yeah,
doesn't
they
even.
they called hunter killers the fucking big
Yeah.
scary. It's like you can't
Yeah.
call it the same exact. How is this not Skynet?
Yeah, it's
They
the exact
used
same
the
thing.
same designs that they had in the filing cabinet for Skynet. They just took them and they made.
Because I actually think that would have been cool to change up the Terminator's look with these new models, but they're the same
Oh.
fuckers.
No, but then they
Yeah,
wouldn't have sold as
the-
many tickets.
The most updated thing is the spikes coming out of the
Tentacles.
metal ones.
But that
Yeah,
just makes
yeah.
sense. Like,
Remind me of the things from Edge of Tomorrow, Live Die Repeat or whatever.
why did
Well,
someone in the
there's
chat
no
just say
real-
Transnet?
There's no real consistency between the technologies like throughout all the films. It's just whatever they want to chuck in for special
Yeah.
effect bullshit.
Legion versus Skynet versus Alien versus Predator. Like, yeah, I'll watch it.
So they
So
have
that-
that
I'm surprised that Terminator versus Alien or Terminator versus Predator doesn't exist at this point.
comic book form. It does.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So Evil Terminator, we see him in some kind of just data center of some kind, and he's killed everyone there, and he just digs
I was
his
gonna-
hands into wires, and he finds
on.
them.
This is the part I had in my notes. This is what I
I
had in my
got.
notes.
We did forget one other little bit that happened on the train scene, which
yeah, go ahead.
was explaining
yeah.
why the Terminator is after Danny, because Danny at this point is like finally calmed down for 5 seconds to go, "Why me?" And then Sarah runs her mouth off, going, "It's because of your son. Your son's gonna be the killer."
Dude,
He's
she
gonna
goes
be
as
the-"
far as saying, "It's your
don't-
womb."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They don't. They couldn't
womb.
broadcast it any harder. It's like literally, you don't fucking matter. You're a piece of shit woman. It's gonna be a man.
Yeah,
It's your
son's
son
gonna
that
be
takes
the
the.
baby.
It's so fucked up for Sarah to be saying it, because like Sarah, you're the reason John is even able to do anything in the original films. That's why you're so important. That's why everyone loves the
Sarah's
shit out of you.
Sarah's literally been there for a Terminator coming after her and a Terminator coming after John. She knows that Terminators don't just come after the parents. She's
mean-
lost brain cells.
Yeah, and she's like being. Her son is dead, and she's being like, "It's not even about you. It's about your son. He's gonna take all the credit." It's like, what the fuck, Sarah?
She's broken and relishing in it. It's weird.
It is
They
really
made-
weird. It's probably the
they
weird.
made
Well, one of the
Sarah-
worst parts for her.
They made Sarah sexist so that the film could go, hey, look, the film isn't sexist. We're progressive. Sarah was wrong because she's a misogynozzle.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you-
all of Sarah's development, all like learning how to fight, making sure she knew people who knew how to fight so she can sponge off their knowledge, and then and then passing all that down to her son. That doesn't mean shit because she just gave birth to him. Like no
He's
effort.
like the
on
entire
that part
reason John
whatsoever.
is who he is, and she's like, "Pfft, John's gonna take all the credit. It's like, Sarah,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah, because all her partners were like ex-army guys or whatever, wasn't it? Like she deliberately hooked up with these kind of people for this reason.
Right.
It's not.
Watch
It
it be
wasn't.
grandma.
It wasn't just a fucking montage in one film that she immediately became this woman. It was a whole history behind. Well, after the first one.
What a cunt.
And they do the thing where like
The bitch.
they do the thing where like a big question's been asked, why her? And then she cuts in with that, and then our not Terminator hero says, I really want to punch you in the face. And then like the scene ends. It's like,
Do you think
so
maybe?
did
do you
the
think
question
maybe
get
Danny's
answered?
gonna? Do you think maybe Danny's gonna be the important person and not someone she gives birth to?
Mm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'll
Well.
have to find out as we progress. So then comes the scene that I know Jay's going to want to talk about. I'll just set you up, Jay. I'll tee you up.
Oh, hang on. What is this?
So they're talking to the guy who's going to help them.
Is this the fly?
They're gonna help them get to where they need to go in a rush, and he's starting to be like, "Hey man, you guys are acting weird. Like, what is going on here? What did these two that you're traveling with? Did they do something evil?" And
Oh, yeah,
so
it's
you
Danny's
might
cousin.
think
It's Danny's cousin, the person helping him.
you might think you'd try something like, "Oh, you know, we got in trouble with the police for X, Y reason. Something that makes you sound like you're doing good,
You
but
think
you've broken a
You
law."
would lie, you know.
You
you
would
think-
lie, yeah.
You wouldn't say, "Oh, we're being hunted by a machine from the future." That's
Yeah,
not what you would say to a human person.
Which is what they say to this man. And obviously he doesn't take it that well, but then, Jay, take the floor.
I can't do it justice. I'm sorry. This is like this is the moment, like,
Remember, this is
unironically,
unrelated to what he's saying. Remember, she just
since,
does it.
Since she just decides to do this. Watching comedies, I don't think I've laughed this hard in a cinema for a long time, and I had to try and control my laughter out of consideration for the other 3 people in the cinema.
Oh, that's very
So-
polite of you.
She fucking she's just playing with a knife that she has for some reason, and then there's a fly buzzing around her. So in slow motion, she slices the fly perfectly in half with her knife, because and then everyone sees it and is like, "Holy shit, that was amazing!" Instead of, what just happened? Wait, there was a fly.
Apparently, our eyesight is as slow as the slow motion they're using in the movie.
Everyone saw the final cut of the film instead of actually what they would have seen.
So I think what would have been funnier if she did that, and then the cousin just got a fly swan and got one, like, just whacking it on the table. He was like, "Yeah, I could do it too." It was like, "Ugh."
Like, so she does that, and the guy like does this little face moving, like, "Huh."
Impressed.
And
then
that's
he
it.
believes that she's a
She
Terminator.
must be a machine.
It literally cuts like seconds after that to them on their way. It's like that. That's it.
You
And,
cut a fly in half. You must be from the future.
Exactly. So, for reference, because I think we said this off stream,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
scene is very much doing the exact same thing as a certain scene from T2, where Miles Dyson had to be convinced that there was a machine from the future that came back to warn them about how they're going to get killed, how Skynet has to be stopped ahead of time because it's a horrible thing. And you're like, okay, how do you do that? And they explain it to him, and he doesn't really believe it. So then John gives him a knife, Arnie, and says, show him. And he degloves himself and shows his his exoskeleton underneath.
His mechanical
the arm.
hand.
Endoskeleton.
Endoskeleton, yeah. And he's just, it zooms up, there's blood all over it. He's just like, listen to me very carefully. It's just like,
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it's abrupt and to the point, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a compelling argument.
I'd believe it. I'd be like, oh, you're a metal man. Okay, you're from the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, there's no bullshit
But this
trickery
is-
going on.
You hit a knife with
Cut a
a
fly in half.
you hit a fly with a knife. It's like, okay,
I mean,
strange.
luck.
Can we talk about how cool the movie thought that was? Like, it was
Yeah.
like, it's like it may have had like a phew sound effect.
Yeah.
It might have actually. I don't remember.
It must
how
have
many
had a
other
sound
film-
effect.
How many other
Imagine if they did some shit like that in T2. Like, oh, I will show you I'm a Terminator. I can saute onions very fast.
I can show you. Where's the flies? You have any flies?
There are no flies. We are out of options. Kill him.
Watch how quickly I can make a salad.
You have a badger.
Do you have a badger?
So, next up, I want to highlight this because it really bothered me. Do you remember Evil Terminator Man he kills everybody in this like security booth, and then he starts keeping track of our heroes while also like informing the American whatever.
Yeah, so they're on the U.S.-Mexico border, and he's masquerading as one of the border patrol officers or whatever.
I don't get how he managed to stay in there for that long without alerting anybody when all the other people are dead. Like, you'd think that the consoles being unmanned would have some kind of something.
No, those people literally don't do anything.
Well, every time somebody came in to check on them, he just stabbed them instantly. But oh shit!
The other problem,
Okay,
though,
no, there's
So we
something
probably
else in
haven't
that
seen-
scene that's really stupid. I
Yeah.
want to know if anyone else noticed it.
oh, go for it.
He
Well, what-
interfaces with the computer not by plugging himself into the computer or anything,
Into the
but by
keyboard, yeah.
pulling the keys out of the keyboard and putting his like liquid goo into the keyboard.
He feels the internet.
Why does every movie value the keyboard more than anything else? It's like, go for the fucking CPU.
Yeah, go to the
Even the hard drive would make more sense.
like at least the first time he does it, he fucking puts his gooey hands into a fucking server.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that
There's-
before, doesn't it? He like it's like they understand it, and then they're like, "No, it's the keyboard that matters."
Keyboard.
I just want to pull the USB out, and he's like, hey.
Apple one as well. It's like oh, I hate it. I hate this film.
One
I'm sorry.
weakness. Also, you probably haven't seen the Badinator for like 15-20 minutes up until this point because we were doing.
I don't mind
exposition, I think.
that much. Whatever. Because the thing is, he can't be that interesting of a villain because he's a machine, which we can try and address going forward. But that is that is the way it works in Terminator and Terminator 2. They can't have an interesting journey or personality. All he is just he's coming. That's it.
And once
Yeah,
he's on,
but they are trying to give him a personality at some point.
They
His
do it
whole
yes.
body is a weapon.
but whenever
Sorry
he
about your shed.
whenever he's normally on scene, though, they're just running away from him for like most of the film, and then, well, yeah, he has like one or two dumb lines, and then that's about it, really. for
But
his
if they kept
character.
him like that, if they kept him as like an emotionless,
Well, just don't have him talk.
then it would be really cool. Yeah, just like,
Well, yeah.
literally, if he didn't say anything.
Because that's like
Or-
kind of like the T-1000. He has a couple of lines, but I always felt like they
They were
They
like
were
mission
neat.
critical. It's like, I need to see John Connor. Have a nice
No, but
day.
if he
Like,
took
so
on
that it
whatever
seems he's a real
personality he
people.
needed, so you don't like. So like, there's a scene where you buy that he has emotions, and then you realize that he manipulates.
yeah,
Cool.
you're cutting
like,
out a little bit.
Yeah.
Mauler, I know you've seen Dalek.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that.
Like that.
Yeah, like good things.
So you've highlighted another problem. We had another problem. I got another problem. He looks at them through a drone, and the shot shows him being like a mile above them at most. If you remember later, when he's about a mile away from them, he's spotted, and that's at nighttime. But he's not spotted here, which is one problem. The other problem is, do you remember what he does with the drone later in the movie?
I mean, he just
Um,
fucking
well,
crashes
he-
into all the people.
Yeah,
He bombs it, or
yeah.
Yeah.
Why isn't he doing it there and then?
Yeah,
Well-
no, he waits until they've
Yeah.
been captured anyway,
And then tries to blow him up. You could argue
he
it's
waits
like, oh, well,
until he's got them
they're-
exactly where he wants them.
yeah, you could argue it's like, oh, they can't move there. It's like, it fucking didn't work anyway. So
Yeah,
what do you mean?
he waited for them to be handcuffed, and then he thought, right, this plus elemental surprise should do it, and then of course it did not.
It still
but-
didn't do it.
It just
I-
kills
If
the
you-
people
if you
It
have-
makes you
detaining
think,
them.
like, surely he has access to more than one drone, right?
I was about to say, if you have access to one drone, you probably have like a weaponized drone somewhere you can fucking use.
No,
Just bombing run them or shoot them with pew pew guns or
No.
something.
You could literally infiltrate any like U.S. airbase or whatever, take a Harrier jet or a helicopter or some shit, and just go in guns blazing. But there's no plan or anything. Even though they talk about how ruthless and smart they are, they act retarded how they execute their plans.
no, yeah, that's so stupid. It's the whole announcing that they're there instead of just like taking the clear shot thing.
Hmm.
Like
I
if
like
he literally
how-
just if he just hid instead of going blah, 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 he would have killed them easily, like several times.
You remember how when they get surrounded by people with guns? Two things. First, they actually go to start shooting them. Like, they put their gun, like Sarah and Thingy put their guns, it's like, guys, you're like, not a thing you could win. And then once they decide, okay, yeah, maybe we should surrender, not Terminator says to Sarah, if I get separated from her, you have to protect her. It's like, you're all arrested. Like, there's not much, I don't know what anyone's gonna be able to do. But yeah, that's when, so like, they get handcuffed, and they're about to be taken in by Border Patrol, because evil Terminator alerted Border Patrol, which is thing as a plan, but okay.
To that one line.
Yeah, when the Terminators need like ice to like help like kill their targets, it's a bit embarrassing as for how like advanced
also-
they're meant to
It
be.
makes sense as a decision, though, doesn't it?
I'm okay with it. It's weird to me that there wasn't more drones for him to try using. He didn't try using it once they'd been placed into like a van or something, which probably would have been the best scenario if he was waiting instead of just going for it. And then thirdly, how did it take him so long to get to the holding center? Like by the time he gets there, they're escaping. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
What
hated
the
how
fuck?
that he always turned into the same dude. Like it could have been, they could have done really cool scenes where they're like looking around, paranoid.
Yeah, I
The
think that's a
one-
bit of a
no,
waste.
He's always going to choose into the same dude because, like, oh, I guess he just likes that face.
Because with the older models, literally all they can actually look like, but E1000 this kind of applies to as well. Only to a lesser degree, because he only fights them in like the beginning, and then he does actually switch into like the security guard in the hospital, switches into wearing the helmet and the aviators and stuff. I don't know. This is a bit to go over for that as well, but you know, no film is perfect, right? Sort of, maybe.
Yes.
I can think of a perfect film.
Name it. Is it Shrek?
Catwoman.
I think Catwoman isn't as perfect as Shrek.
Yeah, but there's not degrees of perfect. They're just both perfect.
Either way,
Am I missing a meme here?
yes, you're missing it. How dare you not understand how hilarious it was? But they're captured. They're all in
No, fuck you.
captured worlds, and they're just waiting to get processed. Sarah gets identified, and they take her away. I guess I'll get to more of that later. Then, fucking main character tries to explain they're being hunted by Terminators from the future. Like, why?
She does that all the time.
That's her one move. She's so dumb. It's like, oh, people will believe
understand
that.
how insane you sound.
All you have to do is say this guy is trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And look out for this guy who looks like this who's trying to kill me. That's it.
No, instead, robots from the future.
You have to believe me, like right next to some crack junkie on the floor or something. It's like, yeah.
I think if I was like trying to figure out something, right? Okay, so like if I genuinely believed that there were robots from the future trying to kill me, one of my first thoughts would be, okay, am I delusional here? Like, am I hallucinating this shit? And then if my instinct was, oh, I need to tell everyone that this is happening because they'll believe me, I'd be going, okay, clearly I am insane.
Oh my god, this reminds me of something from Fright Night when I don't know if you guys seen that movie, that horror movie about a kid who lives next door to a vampire or whatever. Well, he tells the cops that instead of telling the cops, oh, my next door neighbor, he killed that girl who was on the news. Instead of saying that, he says, my next door neighbor is a fucking vampire. You gotta kill him before he kills again. Like, you fucking idiot. Just say the missing girl was last seen at his house. Go check it out. I think this guy murdered her. You did not have to say all that. This is just so fucking stupid.
Yeah. So, evil Terminator is trying to get into the place just to finish the job. Not Terminator is on a hospital bed thing. And they like trying to examine her, and they're like, "Whoa, look how tismy all of her biology is." And then they find her syringes like strapped to her back.
Nice
and they're just
body
like,
search.
"Wow, idiots! You left this on her." And you might be thinking as a person, just like, "What?" And then you're like, "Oh, because she needs those because of her stupid ailment that doesn't go anywhere really." So
This is where the worst one-liner in the film happens as well.
Oh, which one?
Which one?
Who said you could look at my private parts?
Oh my god.
Not just
Actually,
that.
remember
yeah,
that.
and I think it ties into another line that she says to Arnie later, but like I'm just gonna wait until y'all get to that part.
Oh, you can reference that now if you want. What is it? Because I'm curious.
Well, she says something to him. He asks her. Well, he says, "Oh, I'm a Cyberdyne Systems Model 101." He says that, and then he asks her, "Oh, so what kind of Terminator are you?" And she says, "What now? Do you want to tell me what kind of Terminator are you?" He asks, and she says, "No," like in a bitter voice. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
okay, that reminds me of, and it, like, who knows? I could be wrong, but that reminds me of some Tumblr shit. Like,
Does it remind you of the
like,
thank
shit
you
like-
very
like,
much?
like if someone wanted to ask you what your gender was, they'd be like, no. They're like, It's just like
Also,
just
My
there's
gender
so
is
much.
no.
Also, she broke out of her restraints and tackled Thingy before the explosion, and then they attached the same fucking restraints to her. Like, and she breaks out of them again. And it was like, oh fuck, okay.
yeah, why bother? But you're also talking about bad lines. You're also thinking about forgetting about the one, the detainees, not prisoners.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she
Oh my
she
god! Yeah.
beats the people who are looking at her. She beats them to unconsciousness. She has this guy looking at her with like absolute fear, and she just like fucking slams his head into a wall. It's like, okay, bear in mind, right? When Arnie does this in T2, there's almost a smirk on the audience's face because he's a Terminator. He doesn't know any better. He's just trying to knock them all out so he can get his job done. He's like a full-on human being. But we're supposed to be like, yay, you! But she keeps beating innocent people. And you're just like,
Yeah,
It's like your future's not important. Get lost.
Yeah, it's totally like a message scene because there's a scene. There's also a part where they say, where like where the I guess the corrections officers or whatever literally describe the cells as cages.
did you
Oh, yeah,
assume?
right.
It's
Did
like-
you just assume I modeled them?
And it's like it was just really suspect. It's like it's clearly
Oh yeah, right. Sorry.
a message theme.
So that's one of those lines in the film where I was like, ooh, doing some social commentary. So the idea is that we've got a bunch of people who tried to come over the border illegally. They're obviously in these holding pens or whatever, waiting for transfer or processing, depending on what they're going to do. And so she's like, how do I release the prisoners? Because she wants to get Thingy out. And then she's like, they're not prisoners, they're detainees.
Yeah, can we just talk about how insane that is? They just cut her open, saw she has like some body armor below her skin, some fucked up syringes. Then she just beats 2 or 3 people before she goes to the woman. It's like, where are the prisoners? The detainees. Like, you're about to die. What's the problem?
Yeah, I know that she wouldn't want to correct it. She'd just be like, blah, blah, blah.
Like, just tell her the way. Maybe you live.
I'm sorry, this is bad for our brand. You can't call them that.
Oh, Brett.
yeah.
Can we talk about like the implications of that line though? Like the fucking private part for this, like playing it off as a joke. Like either that's serious or don't put it in. Like stop.
She also gets the information she needs from that person and just punches her out.
Yeah.
And she's just out, and it's like, wow.
Just a total twat throughout the entire movie.
She kills several police at the beginning.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
That's the first thing she does.
if she was a Terminator, I'd be fine with it. But like, you're a soldier. You're told like, and you're on the side of human beings. So naturally, you don't really kill people, other human beings that much. Like you know, you're mostly about killing Terminators. You're taught to hate Terminators, and so like she's just going around like wasting people. Like it's just being a cunt for no reason.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because she's there to protect the future of one person, but everyone else is like, nah, whatever about them.
And like, if there are some people where it's justified, like, okay, like clearly, maybe if they were, left fully able to do whatever, maybe they would have stopped her or tried to stop her. But like, especially with like the woman who was like working in the fucking the detainees woman, like she had no reason to punch her lights out. She's just like, I don't like you.
Exactly,
need
they're
to
already
do
afraid of you.
is handcuff people. Like, or just, tie them in any way. Stop killing people. You're supposed to be the hero.
Oh my god, even after a while, like in Terminator 2, like Arnie was like, he took John's orders and was like, okay, I don't kill everybody because, sometimes you just can't go around killing everybody. And this human bitch doesn't seem to understand.
Can I highlight, if John was here, he's like, you can't go around killing people to this new girl. She's like, why not? You're like, because it's bad. He's like, why? Like, you're supposed to be a human. What the fuck?
It's like, are you sure you're not the Terminator?
I think we can just all be glad that the Dawn doesn't work for border control.
Oh god. Doesn't need more of this.
That's what he's like. He's hard down on his luck. He's like, oh well, there's one job I think left that'll take me. I'm just going to work as border control, not a permanent thing. I'd like to get back to my charity
go.
work, back to helping the orphans.
Maul, at this point, it's totally invalid because John Connor had to tell Arnold not to kill anyone. No, I'm referring to all the people that Arnie's fucking up. He doesn't, as far as we never get a blatant kill, I don't think, from this woman in this film. And neither do we get one from Arnie after John's told him not to kill people. But he does beat the shit out of several people. He, like, slams people into walls and hits them over the head with shit. Like, but the thing is, he's, like, cannot kill. So it translates as, like, well... like, they make a joke out of it in the film. He shoots a guy in both of his, like, legs, and he's like, I didn't kill him. Like, no, he didn't kill him, I guess. But with her, there's no sense of, like, it's binary with a robot. It's like, as long as the fucking heart is still beating, I guess, it'll be fine. But with her, she's just like, I fucking hate people.
It's like, if you got to the end of that and, like, you were told, no, everyone survived, you'd be like, fucking really? Holy shit.
Yeah, I think they just don't care enough about her character to, like, to make that, like, significant of enough of a thing that they're aware of, or, like, to include. They're just like, yeah, whatever, you know, bad guys appear on screen, pew, 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 whatever, they're on the floor, you know, groaning on the floor or something, job done, you know?
So, now I want to highlight, Sarah Connor is a 60-plus-year-old woman who is kind of a little bit twig-like in this film, and that's fine. She's 60, I don't expect her to be a bodybuilder. But she's walking with these two, well, it's actually in the shot, you can see 3 guys, but it's 2 when the lights start to flicker. She kicks one in the chest, and he falls down some steps, and apparently that knocks him out, because he's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works, especially for someone who's a trained agent, but okay, fine, yeah, he's down.
If you have a bad fall, you can get unlucky.
Okay, so she was lucky, let's put it that way. Lucky with him getting knocked out. And then she, like, kicks the other guy she's with in, like, the foot, and then she does this move where her hands are handcuffed behind her back. She manages to get high enough to lock his head between her chest and arm, if you know what I mean. And she like, chokes him out. And it's just like, wow.
She was hella struggling with that.
Like, holy shit. Sarah Connor, so I'll give it a pass, but what the hell? Like, pretty... Alright, yeah, we'll just let it go. And then a good Terminator, not Terminator person releases, like, every single immigrant person. I don't know that that's going to end well, because I'm pretty sure if they all run around the security area, they might get shot, but,
Well, yeah, she causes a riot, doesn't she?
Well, it's not really her, like, that's not what she cares about, though. Like,
oh, yeah, well, no, I'm saying from, like, the film's perspective about how they're prisoners. You know what I mean? Like, the meta element. Like, she's let them all free in the same way that Rose lets all the fucking people free, the horses free in TLJ.
Not the people, no, she lets the horses free.
Yeah. But in this film as well, I'm like, I don't think that's going to end well.
Which is kind of dumb, because, like, oh, it's supposed to show she cares about people, but then she doesn't care about people. She only cares about the person she's supposed to protect.
Well, like Jay just said, I'm pretty sure she does it just to cause a distraction. I don't think she actually cares about anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not moral. It's no moral good in it. It's a means to an end for her.
They probably did survive, though, because the Terminator killed all of the guards.
The Terminator did kill a whole fucking bunch of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, at one point they're trying to, like, grab him.
Well.
Yeah, at one point the, like, cops or the officers are trying to, like, grab him like in a rugby tackle or something, because he's butchering all of them, and they're like, we can't do fuck all against him.
Do you remember how when he's jumping across, like, the roof area, and then the guard that she was talking to earlier sees him, and she sprints towards him with, like, a baton? And I remember being like, what in the world? You attempt... What are you doing here? And she goes to him, and she just gets stabbed out. You're like, oh,
This
well,
is fucked up right away.
I don't really know what the hope was there. I don't know what she expected, but that's what she did.
I will get to kill. Ah.
Yeah, she wanted the XP, I think.
Yeah.
Rev 9, man. You could level up a few times. Yeah, he gets grabbed.
At this point.
Sorry?
Sorry, go on.
Oh, well, I'm going to carry on with the thing, so we're...
I thought you would carry on. No.
All right
then. Yeah, as Alex said, he gets... A load of army dudes just grab him. They don't seem to do anything else. They just want to grab him, but then they get stabbed, like... That's probably the only time he seems to have the tentacle.
Yeah, he just creates, like, stabby things out of his body.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just doing it because he has to kill, well, the red shirts, and he doesn't...
The reason why I'm harping on the tentacle thing, right, is so that when he stabs one person and then he looks at another person like, oh, I want to kill you, it's like, man, if you just had some extra appendages, like maybe a tentacle. 4 tentacles. You know, it's
You could split yourself. Oh wait.
the
The bigger problem.
They're trying to pander to the hentai crowd.
Oh no.
Yeah, I see it as the opposite. It's like they had plenty of opportunities for tentacles.
The bigger problem is he just didn't have any guns most of the time. He didn't come in equipped for no real reason. It's annoying, really.
Yeah, do you
He
remember
should
how
have
he's like?
taken guns and put them in himself.
Remember how he's like running up to them with the helicopter and they just escape? They're like 2 meters away from him. But let's say 5 to be generous.
Mhm.
And he just stares at them. I was like, why don't you do a thing? Like, make a thing and throw it. Throw your goopiness at them. Throw a spear made of your goop at them.
Show me your advanced technology, you idiot.
But he's just like, fine.
I'm leaving. I'll look for my.
I
own
know when I've
helicopter.
been beaten.
Remember the bit where he like appeals to the Southerners? Like, there's like these 2 Texas agents with cowboy hats turn up. He's like,
Oh.
yeah, man, everything's weird over there. I thought I was gonna die. There's so much chaos. Okay.
I haven't prayed my whole life, like in the last 5 minutes. Like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, shut your mouth.
You might be like, why is he doing that? It's like, oh, well, maybe to just appeal to them a bit. Then he goes, hey, you guys know where I can get a chopper? It's like, what?
It's like,
In my head, I was like, surely you need clearance to get a chopper.
also,
You can't
you're just
get
coming
one.
from a military base. You should know where the choppers are, not those.
He's hacked
yeah,
into the whole
sheriff.
thing, yeah.
Well, Mola, if you say by clearance, if all you had to do is, if you just like knew a pilot or found a pilot, you could touch him and then morph into him, and like he would clone his like ID card as well with the camouflage.
That would be
bullshit.
cool to see. Instead of him, for some reason, trying to speak Texan to Texan.
It's just a callback to Terminator 2 when the T-1000 steals this cop's bike. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But a chopper, you know, it's not as easy to steal, like, a fucking car or bike. You have to get, like, I don't know, whatever.
Wait, you never stole the chopper before.
Hey,
Oh, you
it's,
know,
still,
I'm
it's still
familiar.
it's still better than Terminator Genesis, where the other Terminator just spontaneously finds one like immediately.
Oh
Afterwards.
yeah, that's worse.
Like they don't actually show how they acquired it. He just gets it. It's hilarious.
Have the
He's
chopper
got a
chasing
fucking
chopper.
motorcycle. He's got a motorcycle outfit on already. Oh wait, we're talking about the same scene.
We're talking about well, when I say chopper, I'm talking about like helicopter.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was talking about the scene
yeah.
from Genesis.
Yeah, so if you remember in Genesis, they like all get into a helicopter and fall off the edge and then get away. And there's like, I don't remember there being another chopper on that fucking rooftop. But even if there was, he like appears right behind them immediately.
There
with a chopper.
wasn't one.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
funny. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, there he
they-
is.
I definitely noticed when we watched it like 2 days ago where there wasn't one. They just pulled that out of their ass and he pursued them straight afterwards. Like there was
So-
nothing.
For reference, right? So this is the part where we turn up to Arnie's house. This is the person who's been giving her the coordinates for the Terminators. He gets up from watching the football.
Oh no, here we go.
Does he watch the football? Like, really?
He's analyzing the tactics of each team. It's like they're gonna lose. Then he just bangs on the lottery every day.
Like, okay, alright. Bit weird. This whole bit is weird, though. So, yeah, he opens the door, and if you've seen the trailer, Sarah's like, oh my god, you piece of shit, and tries to shoot him, but then,
This is why she gets really intolerable, Sarah.
This is the one and the same guy who killed John. Same
Yeah.
machine.
The first question was when she saw him was like, he killed John. It's like, how do you know? You killed like a million.
How does she know?
Terminators
It's just
by
the same
now.
model. And by the way, Sarah, we've done this before. You've met a different model
Yeah.
and not killed him because he's a good... You actually shook hands with him, so now you just hate them all again? Like,
Yeah,
I
it
thought you
should be
got over your
familiar.
racism.
She's irrational.
Yeah, I guess she just figured out that it's the same.
She assumes that womb and bad Terminator. That's it.
I mean,
That's her assumptions.
Didn't they change the timeline in T2, like when they were on that Mexican vacation or vacation whatever in the beginning of the movie? And so, so wait, is that the same Terminator?
Yeah, that happens after Terminator 2.
Yeah, but like, is that the Terminator that comes after John in the beginning of Dark Fate? Is that the same fucking
No.
one?
That
They dropped
one...
into the lava?
That's where we get a lore dump again. We're nearly there. I guess
Oh my God.
unless anyone else can think of anything, it's like all I remember is she explains like we need his help, and then Sarah like goes meh and walks off to a log, and there's this
and she
shot.
has her sad face.
Well, that's the thing. I turned to Alex and said like, oh, she's pouted. Like she's like, And yeah, this fucking walks up to her and she's like, I don't think it was written very well, but she says like, I worked really hard to make it so there was like no pictures of John, but now I'm forgetting his face, and the whole reason was to try and prevent the Terminators from ever being able to find him if he had no face. But I was like, he went to a school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
photos of him in the foster parents' house. The T-1000 had one. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to erase his face without. All she mentions is not taking photos of him, right? She doesn't do anything else. Like, why would? I don't know why she thought. Like, Sarah Connor's really smart.
Yeah. Also,
Happened.
No,
how
not
many
anymore.
Terminators did they kill like together? Like she and John.
I don't remember how many. Did she say that killed more?
Man,
Not with John.
I don't know. Did you say like at some point they caught up and found us?
Can we bring up the question at this point? How many Terminators have come back that she apparently gets texts regularly that there's a Terminator around? Like, what are they sent back for?
They try and kill Danny because
All of them.
Well, from this timeline, after John gets killed, Legion now becomes the replacement, and the target for Legion is Danny. So they start sending not Terminators but Revs, whatever, instead.
Well, you say
No.
Revs. This is the first one. They probably will make a
Yeah.
whole bunch of movies out of this.
I'm pretty sure the other
I'll
ones
try.
were still like the Terminators we know, because she says at some points like they came from a future that
Oh, yeah,
already
well-
failed or something.
From
Yeah.
what Arnie says, apparently in T2, and I'm talking pretty much in the same timeline exactly, they sent back a fucking cluster of Terminators, like a whole bunch in loads of different places. What we saw in T2 was them dealing with one of them, and that a whole bunch more were coming. Then they went off the grid and hid away in some distant beach, Sarah and John. Unfortunately, Arnie found them and fucking just killed him with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Wait, is that implied in
that's it.
T2 that there were a cluster of them sent back, or is that a new thing from this?
Oh, well, I'm saying that if the case is that they were sent back to kill John, then and the way they look on that beach looks as if we just left T2. Like, they look exactly the same.
Yeah, they're wearing this like I think they're like the same black tank top, but they send another Arnie model back to kill him because it's not the same one that sacrificed himself or
No,
whatnot.
of course.
It's not
That's
that
the-
one.
That's the thing, like, as well, when they were bringing back the Arnie model, feel the resentment that in T2 the friendly Arnie killed himself. It's like, can we not just use that one, please? Why did you have to get rid of him?
Well, this is they piss on T2 for their the new generation or whatever.
I honestly
Pissing
feel
on
like
both
I honestly feel
bandwagon.
like they're only like a slight provocation from going, this is the one from T2 that was friendly. He just survived. Okay, he just survived. He was okay.
Yeah.
Time travel.
There would also apparently there's only Terminators be sent back, but no one to
Stop them.
protect them, to
Oh,
stop
right,
them.
yeah,
from
maybe
doing
so-
something.
Maybe a
Which makes
protector
no
was
sense,
back,
because
but they
the-
were
the-
really shit.
The whole thing was they were about to Skyler was about to lose. They sent a Terminator back, then they lose, and they sent a guy or a machine or whatever they have in their timeline for this round of movie to protect someone.
No, you're
but
right.
for some reason, there's only a Terminator sent back. What's with the protector?
I
They
mean,
just don't bother. It's like, oh fuck him.
it never made a great amount of sense, but now it makes even less sense, being that it's like, okay, so the humans knew that the Terminators sent a Terminator back, and so they send Kyle Reese back to protect her. It's like,
Yeah.
guys, maybe you should send a lot of dudes. Kyle Reese might not be enough, but fine, we'll hand wave that. And then T2 does the same thing, and again, you're like, you have access to Terminators? Maybe, okay, fine, hand wave that too. But this film
Yeah.
is like, the bad guys sent fucking loads of Terminators. It's like, you guys only sent the one Audi? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I-
send them
I-
like in like long gaps, and
I subscribe to the theory that they sent someone back, but they were really fucking terrible.
Yeah, they like he got lost. He's like, I don't know where they are. She deleted all the photos of John. How am I supposed to find them?
They just
Did-
settled
did-
down.
Just
Come
Somewhere.
on,
Off the
did,
grid, you know.
did all the photos and records of Sarah get deleted? Because if not,
That's a
Then-
good point, actually.
Yeah, no one. No one knows in their timeline who Sarah Connor is, which is weird to me because she basically did like a whole bunch of shit in this timeline, like killing lots of Terminators. Like, did it just not happen? I'm just so confused by the time.
We brought this up when watching them. Metal did, but from the chat, Epheim the Australia, maybe, I don't know. But it says, wouldn't you get like half a dozen Terminators to naked hug on the time machine platform and send them back at the same time?
I said that yesterday. So just fold them into each other or something. Just set like a whole actual cluster of them.
Kyle implies the picture he has is the only one. So what I'm talking about is, Sarah says she didn't take any pictures of John in order for there to be no records of John in order to escape the Terminators forever if they never know what John looks like. Problem is that there are already records of John because he went to a school, and like I said, the T-1000 fucking got pictures of him, so I'm pretty sure it's possible. And secondly, all they need to do is find Sarah, and they'll find John. And there are plenty of records of her. She went to a fucking mental asylum, so...
Yeah.
That makes no sense at all. But that's not a shock, considering this movie. So...
Yeah, they throw this kind of shit in, but they don't care enough to like make sure it actually makes sense. They're just like, yeah. Deal with it.
Hey, remember Terminator 2?
Yeah. You
Give
don't
us
like that
money.
film, but yeah, I'll remember it.
So, I guess we're at the point now where the writers wanted to bring Arnie from Terminator 2 back, because he's awesome. How do we do it? Because he's dead. Well, because he may as well be him at this point in the movie. And you're like, so how do we get that? And it's like, well, what happened was, according to Arnie, he shot and killed John with a shotgun, then dropped the gun and walked off, because, well, his mission's done. What does the robot do then? He bumped into a girl who was being beaten by her fiancé, husband, boyfriend, whatever. And so he stopped all that, and he lives with them. See, stop laughing. People will think I'm joking. I'm not joking.
No.
That's why it's so funny.
They asked if he loves the person, and he's like, I feel compassion for them, or something. And they're like, how? And he says, I learned compassion.
Oh god.
Like, do you love
He grew a
them?
conscience.
Not like a human could do.
Yeah, he gets asked at one point about love, and he says, I can't love like a human can, and it's worse that way. Like, he basically makes a point about how not being able to love is bad.
Yeah, I love some of the reactions. No way. Yep.
I'm not
This is an
kidding.
after-school
I gave a very fair recant of the fucking plot. Like, that's the thing that he says. That's all the way.
Yeah.
No bullshit exaggerations.
And then she comes and he gets like food and whatever, and then she doesn't know, does she? And I was like, what?
Yeah, his
Oh,
wife.
right, yeah.
And the movie itself goes like that. She didn't realize you're 400 pounds or whatever it was.
Our
Like,
religion
I'm
is
pretty
not
sure he weighs
physical.
more than 400 pounds as well. I think that's bullshit.
yeah. I don't know what they actually said, but it
He's
was
got
like
a fucking skeleton of, like, steel. Like, I don't know the...
Well, do you remember the third one when they the firemen tried pulling them off the debris, and like 4 of them?
Yeah,
couldn't
they'd
pull
be
them
able
off?
to pull a 400-pound man. Fucking, doesn't Boogie weigh more than... He's around 400 pounds?
Yeah. Fucking hell, dude. But
Damn, that's
I mean, isn't that true? I don't know. I haven't asked him.
look,
good.
like you could pull somebody who weighs 400 pounds. You could at least like pull them like in a direction if they're standing. Yeah, but he weighs more than 400 pounds. Then definitely.
Yeah, he's got to weigh at least a ton. I mean, I think that was a throwaway line from T3, but that's got to be about around what he weighs.
Yeah, because the firemen couldn't lift him, and there was like 4 of them or something like that.
Well then, yeah, so either way, the film goes out of its way to point out this plot hole because there's no fucking way he could live with a family for 40 years and they have no idea. Wait, it's not even 40, is it?
It's not even relevant. Make her know that he's a Terminator.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know. It
it's
wouldn't
cool,
matter
but-
if she knew he was a Terminator. She could just get over it.
Get over it.
I don't know.
It's like-
They'd have to have a few lines to explain that.
To be fair, like every time the Terminator would go in a car or whatever, like by all things, they shouldn't be able to drive cars or bikes like this. They should be wrecking the suspension. Like
Oh yeah, that's true.
the
Yeah,
chops
that,
of
that too. Like it weighs everything down. That's how it should work.
I mean, imagine Arnold, like Terminator Arnold, just piping down a bitch. And it's a Terminator. And just split the bitch in half. Because he's so.
I mean,
What does pipe it down a bitch mean?
It means fucking. That's what it means.
Oh,
means
Yeah, I
it
was
means
about
all
to-
of the things.
I was about to go there because it's just our relationship isn't physical. It's like, dude,
Right, well, I was gonna say
you
I
saved
guarantee
saved her from your abusive husband, friend, whatever.
There's gonna be people in the audience who still don't know what we're talking about. I'll re-explain it.
Right?
Right, so
Okay.
Arnie
ahead.
has
Set up.
a wife/girlfriend person, and he's raising a son with her. This kid, how old would you say the kid is, guys?
In this in like in Pat.
Well, when they catch up and introduce him, he's like got to be like 14.
He
something.
seems like a
14,
14-year-old
15,
around then. However, we're supposed to believe that he met this person straight after T2, which is like 97, and this kid was already like 4 years old or whatever. And so fast forwards fucking 20, 24 years or whatever, and apparently the kid grew 10 years. It was like, okay.
Yeah. The timeline is fucked.
And yeah, so they ask him the obvious question of how the fuck don't they know you're a Terminator? And his answer is, well, how do they not know you're a machine? Let's put it that way.
No, guys. Arnie didn't have the kid. He fostered it.
Oh no, yeah, it's not his kid. It's not his kid. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not his kid.
It's not. They don't do breeding shit. No, they don't go that path.
Because I was about to get to that. They say like, how didn't you notice? And the implication of the question is that if you have sex with Arnie, surely you'd notice. And he says like, our relationship isn't physical.
And that's
it's
the only way you'd notice he was a ton
Yeah,
by
it's like-
fucking him.
Yeah.
There are a bazillion
Not him.
other ways to notice this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, not him sitting on the toilet taking a shit and just wrecking it.
How would you?
Hey, Arnie, did you just fall through the floor? No.
No. I'm doing drapes.
It's ridiculous. But lucky, it's like that's one of the
Yeah,
lesser
but yeah,
problems.
You know
What-
how? Okay, so do you know how it's like really like it wouldn't change anything in the story if he was like, she knows I have explained to her,
I am from
like-
the future and I want to help her raise her boy.
like
I want to help you raise little Pepe.
I reckon the only reason they didn't have a simpler like thing that made sense that she just knew is so that they could have the joke where he gets shot and goes, "My wife will not have an explanation for this.
Right. That
What's
seems to
that
be the
line?
only
Like,
payoff they could draw from it, yeah.
this will be hard to explain."
Letitia just bought me this shirt.
See, they could have had that joke. They could have just said, "Oh, my wife bought me this shirt," and then they would have had the joke, and like she could still have known that he was a Terminator. There we go. We fixed the script. It's a good film now.
So yeah, then they get over all the pleasantries and they start trying to come up with a plan. And this part really fucking bothered me in terms of just trying to write drama for the sake of drama. But Sarah's plan is to make a kill box and drop the bait in the middle of the kill box and then remove her when the guy gets there and just shoot the shit out of him or whatever. And it's like, okay. And then other girl's plan is to just run away, I think, right? She's just like, we should just run.
Which is insane.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing, right? Those are two plans, and there's criticisms and things you can do with them. But instead of just saying, I believe we should run, she's like, no, I will not make her bait. We will run. And then
Yeah,
like
she
you have to be
she
like,
gets
Oh, is
she
it-
gets strangely possessive out of nowhere.
Mhm.
It's like, oh,
Well,
we gotta
you-
put her in a hole somewhere in the dark so she can only be with me.
oh
God
fuck yeah,
damn
she
it.
says I'll drop her in a well or some shit, right? It's like what? But my point is, like, instead of being like, oh, Killbox isn't a great idea, she like fucking bites Sarah's head off, and then the main girl has to be like, calm down, we need to talk about this rationally. And it's like, why is everyone so angry? Just chill out, we just started talking. Yeah, then Arnie's just like, Killbox is correct. Like, oh, okay. Like this EMP plan they come up with, it just seems to be like that's the best plan, not this Killbox thing. And you're like, no, that's a part of it. You're like, no, you don't need a Killbox. You just need to find him and go boop. That seems to be it. I don't know.
Well, so once they're free from the detention center, that's their next move is to meet up with Sarah's contact, who is just like the most fucking far-fetched bullshit. Like, oh yeah, this is
shit,
just
that's next, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
she just
other
goes,
than just to quickly mention that Sarah's like, I'm gonna kill you just before this movie ends, okay? And Arnie's like, okay. 'Cause-
Hate drama.
yeah.
yeah,
I have a family that I care about very much, but you can kill me. Whatever.
He's very odd in this film. It just seems off. You're like, all right, do you?
he's meant to be very funny though.
Right. He runs a drapes business.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does. He does
shit.
your
That's
drapes.
the one line in the film I found unironically funny.
And he like is trying. There's a joke where he's trying to explain how some people try and put colors together. And he had one
Oh, no,
guy
not that line.
who tried to do a thing, and then he was like, "No, you cannot do that."
You need polka dots and butterflies. It's
A
like,
little girl. Yeah.
Stop it.
Like, I didn't know how to feel about that. I didn't laugh. I was weirded out, I
Honestly,
guess.
In a better
And
movie, like
stitches.
in a movie where the fucking Terminator had been done justice, I think that line would have been funny.
It was just random. They just dropped it out of nowhere. Like the scene changes and they're at the where they need to be meeting this guy, and there's like, oh, drapes, purple drapes, green drapes, kebab drapes, shrimp drapes.
Like, to me, I was like, oh, they're doing like he does certain relatable human things because else we something. Like, I don't know. It's very constructed to me. It's like, of course, he runs a drapes business. Drapes joke. They just had to get him in the movie. That's all it is. It's very, very awkward to me as a whole. But they agree to do the kill box, and the first thing they need to do is get an EMP, because apparently, what do they say an EMP will do? Just fuck him up
Fry him.
completely?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just fry
it's frying.
circuitry.
Well, I think that's accurate, to be fair.
No, I'm not saying that's. I'm kind of getting at like, wow, like.
That
Just,
seems easy.
yeah, like just work on getting an EMP. Like, get out of the state, maybe. Just run somewhere, get an EMP, go underground, literally, or something. Just get safe, make an EMP. I don't know. It feels like there are better ways to do all of this, but their plan is to. Oh yeah, there's that joke as well that he has a shit ton of guns. Says I'm from Texas.
Oh, they hated that one. That was awful. Please kill me.
Oh,
They hated that one, or you hated it?
I hated it. It was no.
This is Texas.
so corny.
It's like as soon as we saw all the guns, I was like, oh, he's gonna say Texas or some shit. And then he makes another line. It's like he does another line,
He says like humans
Oh,
are
if-
eventually
if
going to
the
fall into
hu-
a dystopian thing.
and I will
Yeah.
need these weapons to protect my family because I am not a huge fucking robot. And then like,
Actually, sorry.
and then like I'm like, oh, cool. They didn't do the Texas line, and he's like, also, this is Texas. I'm like, fuck you.
Also, I just want to talk about that point as well. He says he needs these guns to protect his family, but as soon as Sarah Connor and her little gang of friends show up, he just dismisses them and
Fuck
goes,
my family.
This is my time now. You remember we have this
Peace,
plan.
I'm out.
Yeah, you got to abandon your house and me. Goodbye. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess I don't need those guns anymore.
I've calculated that there's a 74% chance that human civilization will collapse. I'm just going to leave my family to that. Bye.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Damn.
You can go now. You can have sex again.
The compassion's running out of me.
The compassion thing is.
I can't believe it. Like, he saved her from his abusive husband, raised her child, and she didn't get horny once in like 20 years. Are you
Right,
kidding?
like
Well-
like big buffed, like
Yeah,
big
yeah.
buffed Arnold Schwarzenegger, like
Yeah.
holding it down and beat. And
I'm
defending
picturing
her, and
scenes
she
where he's
never-
like the perfect husband in every way, shape, or form. She's like, "Do you want it?" He's like, "Nope." I any kind of nope.
Yeah.
"You're
Okay.
not getting any of this pipe.
I am like a Ken doll.
So
I'm smooth down there."
so then there's the whole the thing I forgot, the trading sequence. Do you remember this?
Oh, fuck that
So
scene.
I'm gonna
No.
give a summary. There's only one comment we all have to make, I'm sure, but there's a
Emotions
bunch of
make you gun
targets, and they give main girl a pistol, and she's shooting like shit. She can't hit the target. Rip. And then they're like, "Hey, square your shoulders, keep your balance forward, do all these stupid ideas about how to shoot a gun. Fuck all of them." And then you still can't hit it, and so the main not Terminator girl says, "Hey," and she gives her a fucking like. Is it a shotgun or a rifle?
It's
No,
something.
no,
It's
Sarah.
like a grenade launcher or
Sarah
something.
gives her the shotgun.
Oh, is it Sarah?
Okay.
I thought it was not.
Yeah,
Sarah.
because, because
Whatever
she,
it is.
No, it was
Yeah.
Sarah's.
yeah, because
Yeah,
remember,
she-
Explosive rounds.
yeah, listen, because
Yeah,
she
she's-
remembers a Terminator's killed your family. You what do
Oh,
you do?
well, I was gonna get to that. It's so funny.
Oh.
That's the payoff. So, like she's putting this thing to her shoulder, like for the first time ever. Bear in mind, she's having trouble with a fucking pistol, even with the recoil element of it. And Sarah hands her this fuck off big ass weapon. She shoulders it, and she aims at there's two targets, and she just fires and hits both of them. And you might be like, well, wait, what gave her, like, how did she do that? What gave her the accuracy? And it's like, well, Sarah said, imagine this thing killed your whole family.
No, she doesn't have to imagine it. Literally just did. Like,
Yeah.
remember
Oh, well,
how your
that's true,
family's
actually.
dead. Remember how your family's dead. Okay, now I can shoot guns.
Yeah, it's just like a Terminator just killed all your family. What would you do to him? It's like,
I'm
bam, 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 hit all of them. It's like, oh, that's not how it works.
gonna be real. I think trauma would make me worse
Yeah,
at doing
Yeah,
that.
get really pissed off and irrational, and you should be able to just
Well,
think
the
clearly.
weird part is, do you remember Sarah, like, smirks and walks off, and it's like, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bitch, you did nothing. You
Just
did
like,
absolutely
yeah.
nothing.
That PTSD is kicking in soon, bitch.
I know that feeling well.
I'm
Oh,
fucking
God.
imagining like a real, you're going to learn to shoot, and your instructor like goes, "Okay, so you traumatized?"
Also, someone in
like-
the chat said, do 3 through 6 not exist now? It's like, yep, they do not exist. 3, 4, 5, and Genesis are all... Wait, no. 3, 4, Genesis. Fucking
I
names.
feel bad for 3 because 3 is unironically better.
Uh,
Actually, I think Salvation might be better as well.
I think Salvation's
Yeah.
probably the best of the sequels.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Because at
the
least
only
they
com-
went in another direction, and and I mean it's PG-13, but it's passable. You know.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs okay. Thumbs okay.
Like, the first scene of Dark Fate with all of the Terminators rising out of the... That... Can I see
Yeah.
that film? Like, just that whole film?
What, you liked it just because there were Terminators?
Well, it's something
Jay.
different being done in the Terminator
Keys, Jay.
world.
Dangling keys, Jay. All it is.
But I don't just want to see T2 again, but with whammons.
Well, you can do... That's not your only 2 options. You can do other things. Fucking
But, like,
Terminators
okay.
rising out of the ocean.
But those are the only 2 options I was shown.
Oh, by the way, did we talk more about the whole that he grew a conscience or
Well, we
programmed
mentioned
himself
it.
to do a conscience?
What can we say? Apparently, he says that, so, we'll have to establish this. In T2,
Yeah,
in order
that's what
for
I'm
him
getting at.
to learn, he has to get the chip removed from his head and put back in. Now, one thing I remembered is, there is 2 cuts, or at least there's at least 2 cuts of Terminator 2. I can't remember if that scene is in one of the 2 cuts.
Oh, okay.
So whether or not...
I think I remember seeing it. And I think it is in one. It's in the extended one or whatever the hell you call it. I remember seeing it.
But it's important because the idea is when Skynet send out their Terminators, they have the ability to learn, but it's shut off because they don't want them learning the line. And he says that you need to do a thing with his chip in order to let him learn, and they do it, and then he starts learning in the film, which is fun. Really good part of the film. In this film, he says that once he killed John, he walked off and he met those people and he started learning about compassion and he actually like grew one. And you're just like, I don't. And if someone wanted to say like, ah, well, they pulled his chip out and put it back in, it's like, no, they don't know he's a Terminator, so
They
that's
don't
not
know,
possible. And he can't do it himself because he literally turns himself off to do it. So yeah, he was learning without being able to learn, and he also just grew a conscience and maybe not a conscience, but compassion is the word they use in the film.
No, they literally say they describe it as a conscience in the film.
Yeah, the power of love flipped the switch involuntarily. That's what happened.
It's so dumb, like unbelievably dumb. And
No,
that's
just
why he
pay
felt
high
bad
money.
about John. This is what Nerdrotic told us on the fucking Expanse EFAP, and we just laughed at it, but it's 100% true. He felt bad about John, and so he started sending coordinates to Sarah to help her kill Terminators, and he said the reason was to give her a purpose, because without a purpose, life is meaningless.
Yeah, he said like raising a son of his own helped him understand what she went through. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is happening?
If I told you,
Photos in his house.
if I told you a T-800 was gonna come back in time, murder John just after T2 finished, and then get his son of his own and feel bad because he knows what sons are like, I'd just be like, you fucking kidding me?
Oh
Rebecca.
god. It's like fan fiction.
According
It's
to
fan
Trade
fiction.
Chester, there are 3 cuts: theatrical, special extended, and coda. The switching of the chip happens in the special edition. Well,
Oh yeah, that's the one my dad has on DVD.
it's like the best version. A bunch of extra bits in it. The lead
I
scene
haven't seen that one.
is not technically canon then. I mean,
Well,
fine.
the-
Learn
The
anyway.
compassion thing is still dumb anyway.
I mean, yeah, it's one thing to be able to learn stuff, but to be able to spontaneously create compassion, I don't even understand how that works.
Yeah, I mean he's a fucking toaster. He understand. He should. It's fine. He should understand how love works, but like the mechanics of it, not like he shouldn't be able to feel it.
To be able to
You should
feel
be
bad
able
about.
to-
What's the point of T2? He's like, I know why you cry, something I can't do. And it's really sad to us, but for him, he's just like, oh man, I get you're sad, but I mean, well, I gotta go. Yeah, it's sad for John, but whatever, fine. It's dumb either way, but maybe less dumb than I thought. Depending on, I mean, it should be considered canon. That bit's great. When John convinces Sarah not to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anything else in the nice little house, in Arnie's house with his...
Oh, I like the part when Sarah's like when they're training her with the gun. She pulls out the big one and says, "All right, it's time to get real." And she brings out
Well, you
the
see,
bigger
pistols don't really do anything.
One. Well, it was just funny to me because it's so
Yeah.
cheesy.
Also, my it's probably actually one of my favorite lines for some reason is when he says, "I go by Carl," and she goes, "I'm not gonna call you fucking Carl."
Oh yeah, that was funny. Okay, they called him Carl. That's like one of our meme names.
Well, yeah, it's
That's my fucking father's name, for Christ's sake. So awkward.
Carl.
Carl.
That kills people, Carl.
So then Evil Terminator gets to their house. The way he's able to track them is they have a photo of the car they use on their fridge. I think they would have thought about that. But,
Wait, I didn't notice that.
basically he gets to their house because I guess how did he figure out they were at that house?
That's why.
Has all of the wire. Well, there's the thing. He looks at the fridge and there's the van on it, and he's like, "Maha," and he finds them like immediately after. And you just think like, wouldn't it be a smart move to have ditched that van the second they could, instead of going straight to? Which brings us to the next bit. So this is the plot summary of this. Sarah Connor, and this is reinforced by Artie. He just says this is the case. She has an old friend in the military who's a major. She's gonna ask him for an EMP. That's just how that works. She does.
Like that point, the point you're doing that, you may as well just. I already have one of those in my pocket.
Yeah, she may as well have just had an EMP because it's so dumb. But I mean, in fairness, Jay, he is used for more than one thing. This major person. So,
yeah, but I do love the fact that he shows up to like commit treason to like exchange to give her the MP, and he just shows up in his army clothes like to be.
So yeah, so people understand the scope of this. They're about, I want to say, 5 miles away from some form of a military outpost. And he's in his military garb, providing illegally a weapon to civilians as a favor to a friend. And he says that he shouldn't be doing this because it's like super treason.
I'm back.
But he's just dressed as a
fucking
major.
idiot.
It's just hilarious. And
Oh,
keeps
the major,
like
nice.
keeps like being like, "Oh, who's that? A bodyguard?" And then he talks about like drapes again. I can't remember. And then the other girl starts talking, and this major guy's just like, "Huh, those people I've never met before are just here." Okay.
This is
Yeah.
This is the one line in the film that I thought was funny, like unironically. Fly
Wait, which one?
when the military contact sees Arnie, he's like, "Oh,
I
I
know.
do trade." So okay, the one line in the film that I found unironically was when the military guy is like, "Oh, is this your bodyguard?" After saying Arnie, and Arnie just says, "I do drapes."
Yeah.
I like that one.
I can see why it worked. It's okay.
No, I laughed at the effort or the attempt at doing it.
I will say, right, I think, can we agree it's the best joke in the film?
I don't know. I
No.
prefer the Carl one.
I'm not gonna call you fucking Carl. It's funny.
I like the one where he says, "Also, I'm extremely funny."
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. So
No,
the
it's
major
alright.
guy just gets shot by Evil Terminator because Evil Terminator is already here.
Well, because they don't want to have another character.
And as he's chasing them, they're just shooting down and stuff. And then major guy puts a call into the outpost to set up an airplane for our heroes, while simultaneously trying to stop Evil Terminator from getting to them. And he just does all of this, and you're like, wow. Do you even know what's happening right now? Do you even know who this guy is and why this is happening? He just gets the military fully involved, and it's really weird. Like, I don't know how else to really frame that. It's just like it just happens, and they get access. This is the thing. There's so many set pieces to do, and this film's not exactly long. Like, it's 2 hours. Like, you have all of these different huge moments, so they have to jump, and
He does get shot, which is why he's like all of a sudden like rushing everything and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
But it's not.
well, like, surely his career's over.
Well, yeah, it should have been take me to a hospital, and then he could have gone, oh yeah, I got shot by a mugger, and then job done.
Yeah, but that's what I kind of mean. He's like not having normal reactions. It's like he knows it's a Terminator. That this is a desperate situation you need full force for. It's like, how do you know that?
Oh yeah, he just fully believes that the threat is a robot from the future, like immediately.
In a few minutes, all of that doesn't matter anyways.
Well,
so
do you remember
left it out?
the helicopter like gets like it sort of so the reason why they're able to get into the airplane without getting fucking killed by Evil Terminator is because he like gets trapped. His helicopter gets trapped on like a tire with a chain on it. Remember that?
Yeah, so I couldn't really make out what it was, but it was really weird.
He's like, it gets tethered to it by that.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
what? And it's like, yep, that's the thing that happens. Okay. And it's obviously to just give our heroes a bit more time. Which they do. They get into the airplane. He tries to get on it. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think that's just it.
No, they drive into the base. They, try to stop him, but fail.
Oh, I mentioned it to you guys, but it's a very minor positive. Arnie sees him coming, and it shows us his visor, and it looks just like it does the original films, which is like
his HUD shows up like that. Yeah,
because
cool.
all of the new Terminator HUDs are all like super high tech advanced as they probably would be. It's just the Arnie's. Just... Good job, guys! You nailed that minute portion of the film.
I'm just thinking now. Thank fuck they didn't bring back old but not obsolete.
Oh god, yeah.
Thank fuck they didn't bring that back because
we get it, Arnold. You're still virile.
yeah.
And so yeah,
All
they
right,
get into this like big aircraft vehicle carrier thing. They're driving off, and like they have a fight, but Evil Terminator loses, and you could argue it's almost worse that he gets onto there and then falls off, because he falls off into the middle of like what could be like a suburb. He just hits some guy's shed.
Yeah,
And,
only him, not
great
the
joke.
car he got fucked off with.
He's on his own and hit a shed. That's it, and he gets out of it. That's when he delivers that line we've been talking about, where he just says, "You're just sorry about the shed."
Sorry about your shed, yeah.
Sorry about your shed. It would almost be funnier if he literally said nothing.
It's so nonchalant, and it's like, why is he like this?
Yeah,
You know?
I don't really get
It's
that.
like he's
It's
cracking
weird.
jokes.
Like he doesn't have to like kill them. He can just walk off, and like unless they like try stopping him, and then like he just stabs them or whatever. I'm fine with that. He doesn't have to just murder for the sake of it. But he's also just like kind of like he's got humor to it, and it's like, okay, yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to drop out at this point. I'm exhausted, so I'll see you all at some point later.
Got like 20 minutes left.
No, I'm dying.
Wow. Not a real Terminator fan, I see.
Hang on, dude. Let me mix up like insulin and like penicillin. And, like, all that stuff. we know it. It's legit.
Baboozles.
Yeah, see you, dude.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
What a massive.
I know. So like I said, they're on the airplane. They were traveling at high speed as the guy dropped off, and then they just travel forward. I'm skipping over a little bit here, but we'll go back. He does eventually get on their tail with an airplane, close enough to crash into them with his. And that time jump is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he managed to get back to a base, commandeer a ship, launch, and catch up to them. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm paused for a sec. Do you remember what happened to the general guy? Because I can't remember what happened to him. Like, after
he just stays.
He just stays there, does he?
I can't remember if he got off the aircraft or not.
I know.
They drive into the aircraft carrier, air carrier, whatever it is, with the van, and he's like, "I'm going to cover as long as I can." Where I just think, why?
Yeah, because he didn't board the plane, did he? Yeah, because he never got on the plane because he was shot and he was already like, oh yeah, this has already gone too far, bullshit. But
yeah, he just goes like, "Stand down, they're something mercenaries."
Yeah.
Give them the airplane, and
they're
like,
under my protection, blah blah blah. Yeah,
and
then they have their little shootout at the back of the plane.
Fair sort of thing to bring up here as well for people who are following along with this plot but are not fully understanding everything we're putting up because we haven't explained everything. They did not use the EMP while he was chasing them in any way, shape, or form. They probably should have, especially when he was incapacitated with Arnie doing the back and forth. That would be a great time to have used it.
Wouldn't that have fucked up their plane, though?
Why? Oh, you mean because they would have EMP'd the airplane as well?
Yeah.
If it was that powerful to destroy this thing, it's going to be.
I mean, at that point, you'd probably be like, set it back down immediately. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not going to be a shortwave burst. It's going to take out the plane and everyone. Well,
it would take out Arnie as well.
And Grace to a degree. It would like cripple her or something for a while if she couldn't move her.
Yeah, I wonder if that would happen or not. They never bring that up. They never bring up. I thought they were going to bring up that Arnie would be killed by it if it went off, but they.
Well, she's got enhanced eyes and everything else via like electronics or whatever. That's gonna like blind her and like probably
it
stop
should do
breathing. Like her lungs or her heart are gonna fuck up. Everyone's gonna die except
But
Sarah.
I mean, they had a chance to use it for a while. Like throughout that whole scene, they could have just been like, "This is it. He's right there." It's not exactly short wave. It's not like a meter, is it?
Well, no, it looks like it's 2 grenades in a briefcase. Like that's it's like military briefcase, like reinforced metal or whatever.
All you need to do is give one to Arnie to activate and get ready to throw while they were in the car, and he gets out, and when the helicopters come to him, throw it. He's a Terminator, they can throw accurately.
Yeah, but they didn't have a properly planned kill box, man.
Okay, well, yeah, either way, that's one half of it. The other half is that they look in their EMP box. It's got 3 bullets in it. And then they open the case, and 1 bullet missed, and 1 bullet went through one of the EMP grenades, and the other bullet went through the other EMP grenade.
No, I think actually 2 went through one, and 1 went through the other one.
I could have sworn it just had 1 hole in each, but yeah, I could be wrong.
It doesn't matter.
The point is the EMPs are done. They don't have EMPs anymore. Because for some reason, I guess they left it out in the open. That's just how that works.
Yeah, and then there's just basically a shrug moment of like, oops, well, I guess we gotta do something else now,
So that black soldier guy just died for nothing. Okay.
Assuming he died.
He died. Well, I can't remember if he died though. This is it. He
might be dead.
Does he just get shot and they forget about him?
Well, he's
fuck him.
Maybe because they bring him onto the airplane because they're talking to him. I can't remember if he like hobbles off it.
This is it. I really can't remember with this film because at this point, when they're going through these parts of the film, I'm really like just bored because it was like, yeah, he's chasing them. Okay, now they're gonna like do a chase scene in the air. Okay. Now we're gonna have some more plot. Okay.
Then we get our next little dump. He explains that Danny is the hero of humanity. He's gonna like bring everybody to. I don't know. Do they actually mention that they don't say anything about winning a war, do they?
No, it's not about winning. It's not about winning an award, but it's leading the revolution.
Yeah. They don't explain. She says that she sent Grace back, but they don't explain how. Like, because they just assume that it feels as if they're like, well, it's Terminator. Of course, they have a time machine. It's like, no. They have to explain this shit. You have to, because T2 and T1 both explained how that's a possibility. Skynet invents it, which is believable to a degree if it's just a matter of technology. Those guys, machines work. They make better machines and make better machines, blah, blah, blah. So they made the time machine, they sent a Terminator back, but they made it just too late because they lose the war just as the humans take over, and then the humans use it to send people back. It's like, okay, I can sort of, even though technically shouldn't time have changed immediately after. Fuck it, I can't be asked to think about that right now. It depends on how you think time works. But in this film, they're just like, oh, this is a time machine. You're like, what? Because this is the thing, if they didn't even win the war, how do the humans have a time machine? Like, how did that happen?
Well, in this one, they have cyborg technology as well, and they're not just like survive it. Well, like in the old past that now does not exist, I suppose, or the old future past that doesn't exist. Fuck, it's confusing. It's all dirty and like it's all 80s style, went with like the plasma rifles and that. And they're all pulse rifles. And then in this, it's just regular ballistic guns, but they also have cyborg technologies. It's kind of weird. It's like, is humanity on its like last like brink, but because it's still like developing technology, it's still like discovering new sciences.
Well, they have the
or
ability to augment people.
Yeah, it's like this is not like. I don't know. They don't explain it, and they don't cover enough of it. But it's there to like raise a question, and it's like, fuck's sakes, what are you doing?
Yeah, the point of the scene is to reveal that it's not Danny's son; it's Danny.
Danny, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then all you sexist bigots get fucking shamed on for who you are.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just getting flashbacks already of the fucking comments from Sarah. It's your womb.
and oh my god, and the cunt, the bitch. She literally says, you are not the mother of some man who saves the future. You are the future. And I just fucking shrunk into myself.
Why does it matter if it's a guy so much? It's like, guys, it's okay. He saves the universe. In reference to humans.
And Sarah Connor literally spells it out for the whole audience. She's like, "You're John Connor. Like, you're John. You're not me. You're John." It's
Joan
like,
Connor.
What the fuck? Joan Connor.
Well, I mean, like, if we get meta for a second, they killed the savior of humanity and replaced him with a girl who saves humanity. And you're like, okay, that's odd. It's like, well, that's just how it works now.
Well, they're just going for this. Oh yeah, the universe or the future is cyclical and it'll always repeat itself, or it'll always shape up to be this some kind of thing. It's like it's always turned into the Matrix, where there's going to be there's always a chosen one who will lead the revolution against the machines. And in this case, it's the Mexican Danny or whatever.
It's like every sequel Terminator film has tried to argue why John would be a good leader, and they try and argue that he's got good tactics, or he's good at encouraging people, he's good at putting people together, or that because of Sarah and Kyle's influence that he's knowledgeable, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, his upbringing is like...
And in this one, they're just like, oh, well, we're going to have it so a different leader leads. And you're like, okay, but what happened to John? Because he would obviously end up leading too with what we know. And it's like, oh, he was killed. Like, killed by who? When? It's like after T2, he was hit with a shotgun. You're like, what?
Yeah, he was successfully assassinated. Which is the other thing. If they like trying to kill Danny, like they're always trying to kill Danny. The Terminator could have easily like just given up like for a few days and then just left it like, go back to a normal life and then pow, come out again, because that's how they killed John. John got killed just because Sarah was like, oh, let's go to the Bahamas or something,
But yeah, and they get interrupted because evil Terminator fucking crashes his airplane into theirs. And again, I'm just like, how the fuck did he get here so quickly? But that's just a thing now. Then you get the whole scene where they're like in partial zero-G, partially not. We're all floating around, all beating up the Terminator while also trying to survive a falling airplane. And it's kind of just like, ridiculous. There's nothing to really say about choreography because it's all extremely convenient. The way everyone moves around and how everything happens.
It's still just
bouncy.
Pretty much.
I still just think of like the epic scenes like in T2, like with Arnie with a minigun, like taking out, when not taking out any of the police officers, but at the same time shooting them all up just so that they all retreat from the siege against the Skynet building or whatever,
Yeah.
Or when he's got to like not wound any of them, and he busts out of the SWAT van with the gas. Well, he doesn't have a gas mask, but all the rest of them do, and he just like walks around just shooting them whilst they all just like pepper spray him with bullets. And like they never do that. Well, nobody never manages like epic highs with action scenes like that in any of the other Terminator films. I don't think. You
Remember
know?
during the fight at one point, Arnie and Evil Man get put right to each other, and Arnie just punches him again and again and again. It's doing nothing, and you're like, man, you're really doing a clever job here.
Well, this is Arnie's always been feature creeped like every single film, but he always remains on top. He's like fucking Rocky Balboa. Like every time that his opponent like always like is one upped, he's like still manages to fight him. You know?
Yeah, even though he could get... Well, this is the thing, it's only right up until the end of the film. Whenever he fights Arnie, he doesn't use his stabby weapons, but the second he does, it works. And it's just like, why didn't you just do that straight away, idiot?
Yeah, this is what I'm on about. He just has a gentleman's brawl with him because they don't want to...
Like, he fucking tears off his arm, doesn't he? What is that?
Yeah, his character, his plot armor, obviously, but it's just really lazy because, again, he could just slice his arms off at any given point, and Arnie wouldn't even be quick enough to stop it, but he doesn't because reasons. The same way he doesn't just use guns when, like, you know, shooting them or attacking them with a ranged weapon would be the preferable takedown, but instead, he just runs up to them and just tries to stab them, and he always announces himself because he's never that good at like infiltration because he always reveals himself before he goes in for the kill. It's stupid.
And I just remember he blows open the back with the grenade launcher, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the many moments where the film just goes dun 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 dun, and then just
grenade launchers.
Arnie shoot a grenade launcher. That's like he does in the other film. Stop it.
Brad Fidel should sue the fuck out of all these terrible Terminator movies. Oh god.
So this part, it's gonna be hard for me to like really structure what happens next. So it's like the airplane pretty much exploding, but they fall out of the airplane in a Humvee that has parachutes on it, and it gets opened up, but just too late, so that they kind of crash into a dam because it's not enough for them to land on, clear ground or even water. It has to be some structure. They're in it's a dam, huge like industrial dam, and they swing off the edge of it, and they're held up by parachutes only. And then Arnie is dropped into... He's like fighting the Terminator in the water. They fall into the water, and he's fighting him below, like at the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bed of the river or whatever.
And he gets sort of incapacitated. I think that's where they pull his arm off, right? They actually like two evil Terminators pull on his arm until it breaks off.
Yeah. Because at this point, the Terminator or the evil Terminator is always shedding his like skin or his metal skin with his gooey skin shit.
Yeah. It is as weird as we make it sound.
Yeah, and again, it's just further proof that like he wasn't like trying hard enough at the start. He didn't go with his best plan. He like
the fact that he can split into 2 killer robots, it's like you should have just fucking done that to begin with. Like, holy shit!
At the same time, you can assume the identity of anyone. It's like just assume a random ped and just go up to them. But he did it the one time, and then he failed miserably because he just brought a fucking shitty pistol, and he just
also learn very much in terms of like he keeps incapacitating Arnie, like throwing him away or pushing him or just breaking an arm off him for some reason. He never actually disables him. It's one of the things I liked about the T-1000 was he was eventually like, okay, you have to be stopped. You're actually getting in the way too much.
Yeah.
How that works, I guess. So instead of allowing him to get to the Humvee, they cut it so that it goes underwater, and I don't know what I have to say about the realism of that scene, but they're like waterproof for a decent amount of time underwater in the Humvee, but then it starts to sink in. And their plan is to let the place fill with water, because like Sarah shoots him through the glass, so of course that's going to let water in. And she wants to activate a parachute on him the second he tries to attack them to tangle him up, and then they'll both swim out. Seems risky to me. It's like, alright, I guess this'll work, and it does perfectly like that.
Well, yeah. Again, he should have had the advantage would have been all his to like just stab them like in water, but they couldn't.
Totally, like you could stab through a parachute.
Like you just think being underwater, like how like flexible, how agile you are compared to like being like on ground,
And yeah, so they get up to the surface. Sarah's dislocated her arm, and our hero girl is doing her medicaltisms again.
Oh yeah, she's having a moment, this is what it's just serves for. It's just a MacGuffin to whenever. It's just like, oh, where's she in this moment? Because this is probably the one with the most characters at any given time in the film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Genesis had 3 because they had Sarah, John, and 4 that like towards it had 4 towards the end, but yeah, it's just the main cast is there. Well, this one had like quite a few more extras, you know.
Either way, they're outside of the like entrance to the dam. Sarah's incapacitated to a degree, so is our hero girl, and so it's like you're gonna have to run because it's you now. We can't protect you. Then Arnie turns up with a syringe. He said you dropped this on the airplane. Can you imagine that? It's like
You forgot this on the airplane.
did he pick that up before all that shit happened, or is it during it? He was like, "Oh, a syringe."
Don't know, just
And yeah, so he gives
Part
it to
of
her.
my new compassion is being very curious about things.
yeah, takes care of your illnesses. He's a good boy.
And so she gets fixed up, and then Sarah, by the way, despite her arm being like not usable according to people, she's able to wield a shotgun after that just fine. So I guess
Yeah,
not work that badly.
the
And
kickback wouldn't affect her at all.
talking about how there's just not enough time for the movie, right? So they're on foot, they've got weapons, everyone's back together, they haven't got their EMPs, and they know that Terminator Man is coming. It's like, right, what's the plan? And they're like, well, we need to run. And then Danny is like, no, this is our kill box. It's like,
This
what?
is our stand.
Like, I was like, what do you mean this is like, we can't kill him?
Yeah. And I think they have one shotgun, and that's it.
Yeah. And their fucking plan
Oh,
is to hit him
yeah.
with a hammer and a chain.
Yeah. They've got like the most primitive weapons going, and this is like now they're ready for the fight. As if like it's some shitty show-in film or anime or something like that, where like like the friendship comes together. Now they're ready to take on the bad guy.
They try to kill him with all the things he can duplicate or like replicate with or mold to his body. They use to try to kill him. And it's just like, can y'all be creative for like a fucking minute? Like this is not
Well,
gonna.
do you
It's only gonna help him.
Remember when Artie gets hit to like an area and he accidentally drops the his like hammer,
thingy.
and he's like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, it's like it's his best weapon gone. And it's like, oh, now what?
It's like, oh, look at that, a turbine.
Yeah, it's utterly hilarious. Then that's it though. That they keep beating him with things, and so as a viewer, you'd rightfully be wondering like, what the fuck's gonna happen, because this isn't gonna do anything. And there's just this turbine to the right of them that's spinning really fast, and it's like, oh, throw him in there, I guess. I don't know. Which they managed to, but not at the cost of Arnie getting almost destroyed and not Terminator Good Girl getting stabbed in the chest, which, again, because she's human, that fucks her up quite a bit. I think you guys may have noticed that Sarah gets, like, grabbed and pushed by the Terminator several times, but never stabbed, because the plot armor's nice and thick.
Yeah.
I guess they want to bring her back. It's good to be able to promote the movie with Sarah.
Her skin is paper thin. She'd be dead.
That's the thing. She keeps getting thrown around, but she's okay. She didn't break a hip or anything. Yeah, they toss him in there, and it all explodes, and he comes out of it. Like, you'd expect that he'd come out of it maybe with, like he'd reform, he'd just be annoyed, but, like, he gets full-on fucked up. Yeah,
he's like missing an arm, I think, and
yeah, like it's very little of him remaining. He has to like limp toward them. That's how useless he is. Oh wow!
Apparently, all his skin is gone as well. So
yeah,
that's
he's lost
just,
all of his goop.
I don't know why he wouldn't just detach that from himself and get it out of there.
Are they saying that the fire got rid of the goop? Because I thought that didn't do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, so Sarah is okay. The other two are pretty much knocked out, and then she walks up to this like fire, and she's like, "He's not dead," because she can hear like noises, and she's just aiming her gun at the fire, and then he jumps out of it and like pushes her aside. I'm like, why the fuck would you walk right up to a fire? Just like, I'm pretty sure he's in the fire. I don't know. And yeah, luckily she doesn't get killed, because obviously can't kill Sarah at this point. Like I said, I think if they made a sequel to the film, they need her for marketing. Be like, look, it's like 2-2 still.
Please watch our movie.
He's watching. And yeah, because Grace is autism-y, she's like, you need to cut my power core out of me, shove it into his head, because it'll kill him. Which is just, like, out of nowhere. I don't remember her setting that up before. It's just like, oh, okay. Like, sure, I guess.
I think right before they have their last fight, she's just like, I have something in my body that can kill, but that makes me die, and no, we can't do that. Fuck off. And then they have to do it anyways.
Yeah, it's such an interesting moral conundrum.
Yeah, so yeah, the point is that the big payoff is going to be our protagonist has to tear out the power core of the hero in order to defeat the villain. Okay.
Yeah.
So she does.
She starts fingering her.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I thought was interesting is like she didn't really tell her exactly where it was. She could have stabbed her and poked around and been like, "Is this it?" She's like, "No."
Oh no, not there.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so she gets it. She runs over to. Do you remember this bit? She like she wants to have a fucking fight with the Terminator. Like, fuck you, motherfucker! She's like hitting him with a bat. And it's like, dude,
I'm done with your system.
It's such a like feels good moment for like I guess people who like this protagonist. Is there anyone out there like? No hands.
Hell
Okay.
no.
Send me an email if you're
She's not even a
out there,
character.
so I can delete it.
Her character is like reluctant leader, but is also just awesome. Come on, gonna get there. Gonna get there, guys.
She can barely hold a shotgun.
Yeah.
You see her struggling
this is
with
the
it
thing.
when she was shooting him?
She gets up with the power thing, and she puts it in her pocket. And it's like, dude, that's your thing. That's your main thing. Like, what
Don't
do you
put
do?
it in your pocket. What
But
if you
she-
lose it?
She shoots it. She says "motherfucker" a whole bunch of times. I'm pretty sure, but she shoots the Terminator several times with the shotgun. It doesn't do anything, and this is what I meant by bat. She starts hitting him with the shotgun over and over, and it's like that's not doing anything. You gotta hit with. And so she tackles him, tries to stab him with the thing, but then she fucks it up. And this is something that bothers me every time I see it. The Terminator grabs her leg and pulls her back. If the Terminator's got you by the leg, that ankle is going away. That is fucked.
Crush it. Just
Yeah.
Gone. And they're struggling, and they're a good like fucking 5 or 6 meters away, and Sarah sees it, and she starts kicking Arnie, saying, "Wake up." He's a fucking robot. Like, I
Wake
don't
up, Carl!
Come on, Carl.
Carl.
And fucking kicking him wakes him up. It's like, oh, okay. There's no like electricity or anything. He just wakes up, and he just turns up next to the fight and saves the day. And you're just like, oh, did he crawl over or something? He's like, no, it's just fine. And yeah, the thing goes into the bad man's skull, and protagonist girl saves the day almost. But Arnie has to finish it off. Grabs bad Terminator. Both fall down a big tunnel, and our heroes look at them as they're about to explode. And Arnie says, "For John," as he blows up. That really pissed me off. I was like, this film had the T800 or T600. I can't remember right now because I want to get on to the main point. You have all of T2 happen, and then it's like these people telling you a fan fiction. Like, how sad would it be if that Terminator killed John and he felt bad about it and died later and said "for John"? It's just like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, why did any of that happen? Like, he dies. How poetic! He died to redeem himself from killing John. It's like, what do you mean? He's a robot. He doesn't. I don't understand.
He's a fucking toaster. He doesn't know that about this shit.
It's.
Can you imagine that in the beginning he just kills John, just goes over to Sarah's like, "I owe you one," and just leaves.
And they have all of his skin burn off first, so it's the Terminator itself, like the model, doing it, just to really be like, look, it's T2 and it's dying for John or something. What are you doing?
oh, it's like very angelic.
I hated it. That's pretty much it. Like, they die, and then Danny goes to see Grace as a child playing in like a park. And she
Which
looks
is creepy as hell.
Yeah, it is creepy. It doesn't look too far away from her age from when, thingy happens. It's just like, man, it gonna happen then? Like, do you think that's what they're going for at the end of the film? Because Sarah's like, you better prepare.
Yeah, it happens like next week.
The Terminators really should have sent more people further back. That's clearly their fuck up.
Again, it's one of those deals they just didn't care about. It's just,
Does Arnold describe the timeline he's from as deleted? I don't remember. He says he's from.
I think he says it failed. I don't know if it's deleted or
Yeah, he
something.
says the failed for sure.
Yeah, because that's his argument for why they shouldn't do it, or why the evil Rev 9 shouldn't kill Danny.
Someone in chat said an advanced enough robot could conceivably feel anything we can feel. He actually says that he can't, and that makes him sad. He's like,
I can't feel. That makes me sad. Wait.
it's about like he says like about how he can't love.
Honestly,
oh my god! I'm just remembering when he sends the family away and they're driving away. He looks down at the ground, really sorry, really sad. Look on his face.
I was expecting like a robo tear coming down. It's like, don't do it, movie.
Robo
don't
tear.
do it.
Oh fuck, that's another Futurama reference again. And the robot that cries and makes itself melt and explode. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else.
Sarah Connor's still around, like, you need to be ready or something, and then they drive off into the sunset, and that's it.
Yeah. That's I guess the obvious question would be like, you're gonna make a video. The thing about making a video right now is that I feel like I'm not gonna catch everything that's wrong with this film without a HD copy, but I also don't necessarily. I feel like by the time I get to the point of waiting for an HD copy, I might not even.
It'll be something worse.
Probably. I mean, episode 9 is not out. Like, it's gonna be out soon. So I'm thinking maybe if I try and do my first ever attempt at a video, like, or something.
You fucking what?
I'm interested in doing it, but right now I've got this friend over my house, and we're trying to like just tiz me around having fun. So it's gonna be another week at least until I would want to plan out like a big thing to where I cover everything.
I'm sure it's my fault now.
It's Metal's fault, 100%. And someone actually asked, why aren't you two on the same mic if you're over? As if to prove that you're not here. Like, he's in a different room with a different setup. It's okay.
Yeah, just make better of a sound.
But, yeah, so a lot of people in chat saying, like, nobody cares about this film or whatever. It's like, I mean, it's not about whether or not people want to see a video from it. It's, I really like Terminator. I'm going to make a Genesis video eventually. But, like, this is, you know, my chance to be able to talk about why Terminator 2 is good, at least to a smaller degree, while fucking shitting on this disaster too. And I think, you know, it could be fun as well as just exploring why it's terrible. Are you gonna make anything related to this, JLongBone?
I don't know, man. You know, shit. I have no. See, like, here's my thing with this. I would do a review of Genesis over this because with Genesis it's so funny and I can make so many jokes. This one is just fucking unpleasant for me to watch.
Yeah,
because it's the final death nail in the franchise. I don't give, and it's like I give a shit about how bad it is, but I don't at the same time. It's a numbing feeling. I don't care. I don't care, and I do care. But Genesis, like, but Terminator Genesis, I can make some pure gold out of that piece of shit because they did Kyle Reese so dirty in that movie.
They did everybody dirty.
So
Sarah,
funny.
Kyle, fucking T-800.
Oh god.
Even the T-1000. It's like they turned him into an Asian man for some reason.
Yeah, Genesis pissed me off way more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think I made a comment on the trailer when it first came out. Like, it was a line from the trailer. Like, oh, we changed the timeline. Everything's changed. R1000's Asian. That was a comment I made on the trailer a long time ago.
So weird. The Genesis is definitely worse than this, and also probably more hilarious, but this one was still a really bad attempt. It probably ranks below Terminator 4. Does it rank below Terminator 3? What do you reckon, everyone?
Yeah.
I'd say
it's
yeah.
below 3.
Yeah.
because they've cheated in this one. In Terminator 3, they were like, nah, Terminator 2 was wrong. And it's like, okay, that's your take, fine. In this one, they were like, no, it's right, but we get to do everything again anyway. And you're like, what the fuck? You can't, that's cheating.
I'd watch all the other bad Terminator movies over this one any day, because at least some of them you can have fun with. Some of them are just like aren't as bad as you thought they were previously, or they're just funny. This one is just like bad. This is fucking bad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read the super chats that we've had throughout the stream. That'll probably wrap it up. Anyone is welcome to stay or go for however long as they want.
I'm trapped here.
But you are trapped, yeah.
I'm gonna duck out now, yeah, because I'm gonna go get some food.
And it was a great film and a great stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great watching that film with you guys. It was so much fun.
You're right, man.
But yeah, have fun. Drop.
Bye.
Bye.
What a nerd. All right then. First one is help. I got caught in my own zipper again.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
Yay! EFAP to poo on Terminator. Let's go. This isn't like a main EFAP episode or anything. It just goes in line with what I was doing with Game of Thrones and stuff. It's just a conversation rant on this. That's why Rags isn't here as well. But it does lead me into saying that there won't actually be an EFAP this Sunday. Rags is on a holiday and I am busy, so I'm gonna take this weekend off. All of you in chat now know, so it'll be said in the Discord as well, possibly on Twitter, probably not because I never update. Terrible. That'll be FYI. But we'll be coming back, don't worry. We might even do a double episode next week because we've got loads of things to do. And episode 9 is around the corner. Oh, you don't have to be there for both of them. You don't have to...
I probably will be because I have nothing better to do, let's be honest. I'm still off work, so I'll probably just get fucked up at the second, like last time.
Yeah, smaller senpai. I need to say I'm a diehard fan, bro. They don't want you, they just want your woob.
Oh man.
Welsh comes from Old English Walsh, being foreign. Well, we're a scary people, us.
They're all very scary indeed. Can confirm.
Hello.
Hi.
El Camino thoughts. I thought it was fine.
Alright.
It was fine. A couple things I really liked in it, a couple stuff I didn't, and I thought the whole thing kind of was unnecessary, but it works, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't destroy anything
No.
with Breaking Bad, so that's a huge plus, I would say.
It's in my
okay.
it's in my top 5 movies for this year.
It's actually true. So
that just tells you how sad of a situation that list is, but okay. Also, meme stream date guess? There is no guess yet, 'cause it's based on whether or not people are available. I guess an estimation, and so when I say this, it means that it's not going to happen as a guarantee, guys. Don't say I said it's definitely happening. But next Sunday, maybe. Maybe. Alright.
Uh-oh.
EFAP movies Dracula 1992 with squirting Keanu Reeves. Could happen. Gary Oldman's iconic roles, I'm sure. Do you think Wolf will return for episode 9 discussions? Possibly. Cannot promise left or right or up and or down. All of the directions.
Oh, okay.
It's a 3 tops. Oh, right, when we were giving it an out of 10. Yeah, I think I'd probably be comfortable with a 3. I think a 3 is... You guys were right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What do you give it out of 10, JLong?
Wait, what were we talking about again?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. Oh, shit. Like a 2.
There you go. It's not very good, is the conclusion.
Yeah, what did we say last night? Like, all the action scenes were, like, neutral. It's like, yeah,
they were
whatever.
fine, and there was a
happened.
couple of lines I giggled at. Yeah,
Yeah.
And special effects were okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember any decent shots. I have to watch it again. Like, yeah, the script was...
Yeah.
Or is hacked. Cersei's a better Sarah Connor than Dany. I mean, Dany wasn't Sarah Connor, but that's still true. Exposed the janitor as the cosmic chicken's keeper. He asked about dragons when it gave matriculations to his sight. Now he praises them as penance. I have no idea what that.
But I agree.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course.
I'm
Statement. We don't
putting down my agreements.
need a bigger roof. Oh, rah, get it. Morla, when are you streaming Man of Medan with Flumpeldingus Head? That'll be October 31st, starting at probably like 8 p.m. BST. There. In metal. Plenty of.
No.
It was a repurpose of the first two, writing John Connor and the T-800 out of their stories and replacing their roles with gals because everything is about them nowadays, while stealing elements of films they erased.
Oops.
Yeah, I can agree with mechanically how they did all of that. I remember when the poster came out and they were like, "This one's got all women in it." I remember, okay. And the first question I had is like, if Sarah's there, what happened to John? Got the answer. Would you be willing to watch the Gamergate Law and Order SVU episode on EFAP? Good vibes. I remember that. I saw many reviews.
Boy.
I don't know what that is. Do I want to know? Probably not.
Oh god, I'm an avid fan. Well, I was an avid fan of SVU. It's basically an episode. They do episodes sometimes on special shit that's that's rape related kind of, but like it's about this chick who gets she's like Anita Sarkeesian, and she gets harassed by gamers about this Antifa gaming fucking group. She gets harassed and raped, and there's this whole kerfuffle around that. It's
as Chav pointed out, isn't there a scene where they go to a crime scene? They're like, "Oh my god, he killed a person." One of them describes it as.
No, they go see one of the victims. They go see one of the victims after she gets raped, and they were like, "What happened?" And she's like, "They leveled up." It's so fucking retarded.
We might check that out for EFAP, especially if Metal hasn't seen it. Especially if Rags hasn't too. That'll be great.
Is it like an actual episode of CSI?
Yep. I remember loads of people covering it. It was.
What? How did I never hear about this?
It's Law and Order SVU.
Special Victims Unit, yes.
Good vibes sent out to all consensually against your will. Oh yeah, we'll think about it. Morla massages massives maliciously. Also, hi, Raph. I like.
Hello.
He would say hi if he was. John dies so much for Kyle Reese's sacrifice. Then, well, see, the film is trying to say that all was successful. John did stop Judgment Day with Sarah, and so the whole future where everything goes wrong for them never happens. Woohoo! Unfortunately for them, Legion happens. That's what the film's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, Kyle Reese wasn't sacrificed for no reason, but it's like I said, it's cheating. It's really cheating.
Yeah, this is really dumb.
Matt Morley, you should watch Because Science video on the Last Jedi plot holes on EFAB. I'm curious what you think. Fair enough. I know that. Isn't it bad to kill people in the past when the future relies on certain things happening? What if one of those cops happened to be the reason someone didn't die or was at the spot they needed? Well, this is the thing. The second someone goes back, you'll get a different future. But how different, I suppose? As long as she lives, apparently everything will work out. Hey Muller, have you seen One Punch Man Season 2? I recommend reading the manga. It's the superior experience. I still need to see it. Haven't yet. Weird mixed thing. Trying to avoid. Before I see it though. If Tywin is the apex homosexual, who is the apex heterosexual and apex bisexual? Well, I don't think that's going to get revealed yet. Like, probably in later seasons of EFAP that we'll discover those things. Can't just throw it all out, you know?
Yeah, we need to wait for things.
Dave Cullen's video on this is excellent. You seen it? I have not, but can you ask Kyle Shapiro the Orphan 9 bathwater question? Bill Gatius Dinkelschlob. That's a quote from that philosopher.
Okay.
Also, thanks for popping up mutually. I was getting real depri over my empty fucking life. I hope you enjoy discussion on. Getting out mid-sentence. I'm trying to stay closer, darn it. I'll have to look at my noise gate, I guess. Because two people complained about that. It's bad. Was Carl's chip mentioned as being on read-only or read and write like in T2's direction cut, since now that's a default cut? Well, according to some people in chat, the canon version is that it doesn't need to be reset, but if I make a video, I'll mention that, but I still thought they fucked up. John Oliver said it was okay in his last video. John Oliver reviews films?
Ugh.
I mean, good for him, I guess. I don't know. Quick but important question. Mauler, how many Resident Evil games have you personally finished? We got... I nearly finished Resident Evil 1, but I never did. I've finished Resident Evil 4 like 7,000 times. Finished 5 quite a few times. And I think I finished 6. I can't remember if I got through it, because I didn't it, and then I finished 7. Resident Evil 2 and 3 are the ones that I really need to finish. Oh yeah, I got through most of the 2 remaster, but I didn't finish that either. So, my history with Resident Evil is strange. Getting there. Alternative movie. Sarah and John Connor by Norman Reedus team up to save members of his future team while trying to eliminate leftover Skynet AI. I would prefer that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd prefer a lot of things over what we got. Almost everything. Time travel rules. Shove your Deus Ex up your bum.
Yes.
Alright. What time travel do you prefer, T3 onwards or Dark Fate? Oh, do I prefer T3 or Dark Fate? It would be T3.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of T3, really. I think it's fine. Mauler, totally off topic, but what's your opinion on the first Jeepers Creepers movie? I think it's one of the greatest monster movies ever made. I remember liking it. I only saw it when it first came out, and I remember being like, man, when he finds his, like, lair, and it's a bunch of bodies that have been, like, nailed to the ceiling and all different walls, I was like, dude, creepy shit. And the monster's thing being that he, like, takes parts of people and then attaches them to himself, I was just like, yep, sufficiently scary in its own way. But yeah, I remember liking it. I'd have to rewatch it, though. From T3 to Genesis, where does this one rank? Well, like I said, it's worse than T3 and Salvation, better than Genesis.
Yes.
What we're in. Recovering from a venomous snake bite, at least finally getting some time off work to chill and catch some live EFAPing. Cheers, mate. Jeez, I hope you're alright, man. Venomous snake bite.
That's...
I hope you got some revenge on the snake Shad style. Sword. Any thoughts on Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse? I've not seen it. I know I want to, though. Very interesting. Gonna have to listen to this on Moolah since The Outer Worlds just came out and it requires my undivided attention. But anyways, guys, my condolences for your brains and Linda Hamilton. Yeah, enjoy Outer Worlds. Dark Fate refers to the box office numbers. I'll be interested to see if they flop or not. It'll be. I feel like at this point it might just be a break-even sort of situation. I don't know. Legion is just Skynet with ADHD. Pretty much just is Skynet. So first Predator is about autism being more powerful than intergalactic aliens, and now Terminator is about some diabetic lesbian being more powerful than a robotic bodybuilder from the future. Diabetic lesbian.
They're all in the same universe.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, clearly this is all... They're doing work to connect them all up. It makes sense. Guys complaining that it, like, doesn't make sense, when clearly all of this was a big shared universe. Now we just need Alien to do something.
Please no.
How are all my fellow irredeemable twisted shells of bed doing today? Oh, just wonderfully. I don't know if you knew this, JLongBone, but that's how me and Rags were referred to on a discussion about EFAP. We are irredeemable twisted shells of bed.
Oh god.
That's how they see, like, EFAP and everything. It's like, what is wrong with you? Sitting there making fun of Star Wars.
You sick bastards!
Finally made a live stream / cleared the past EFAPs. Oh, there you go.
Good job.
Yeah, nice. Haven't seen Dark Fate yet. Is it roof-worthy? Hashtag KickJ. Oh, it's definitely roof-worthy. Definitely.
Roof-worthy.
Basically, that just means Ra will have his way. The film. Don't worry about it. Terminator Duck Feet. I'll be Quack. Okay. They make Sarah a failure to build up the new girl. Yeah, well, this is the thing. We didn't really talk about it, but, like, having Sarah fail to protect John, it's like, ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, she's an old drunken boomer now.
I get blackout drunk and hunt Terminators. It's like, I think those two sentences contradict. Somewhere there is a pile of squirrels stuffed with cell phones that we use to contact Sarah Connor.
Oh no.
You'd have to put the squirrel into a bag of chips, as everyone in chat wanted me to say. Tim Miller says Terminator Dark Fate will scare the shit out of misogynistic internet trolls.
Nah, it'll only empower them because
it would confuse them.
Like they fucked up Sarah Connor, and then like their lead chick is like a blank slate, and the other chick is a blank slate who needs constant sustenance to fucking succeed at her job, which is like completely inconsistent. Like fuck this. It's so hard to think about. Just fuck it.
Also, their messages with that are way too weak to even be able to say that. Like, I like the whole misogynistic thing. I don't think.
Oh yeah, honestly, if you'd asked me if it's an anti-men, pro-women film, I'd probably be like, I guess, but like, it's not as overt as you'd expect.
Yeah.
There's hints, but it's not like the message of the film.
Exactly.
Still waiting for more of that from Batwoman. Gimme. I want some cringe lines.
Only 2 days. We can watch the next episode. I'm fucking hyped.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Discovered JLongBone's channel through EFAP, and after watching EFAP 50, I subbed. Loved your stuff, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say, we're on a similar pathway right now. JLongBone and EFAP both tackling Batwoman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That is correct.
Augmented human equals cyborg. No! That's your preferred pronouns, augmented human. Don't say cyborg, that's fucked up.
Just fuck you up.
Well, my squirrel phone idea was wrong. On a side note, perhaps the future humans still care about ethics, and that's why they only upgrade the wounded.
They still have to volunteer.
Hey, I have some info on Rise of Skywalker. Oh, I mean, they've been... Apparently there's all kinds of leaks. That whole film has come out, and let me tell you, right, like, people have given me some hints on leaks, and it's the kind of thing where you go, nah, that's not real. The leaks for The Predator were 100% true. The leaks for Game of Thrones were 100% true. The leaks for Dark Fate were 100% true. Believe the leaks. Just every time.
I saw somewhere apparently they tested 8 different endings.
Jesus Christ. We don't know what we're doing over here.
I want to see all of them.
Mola, check EFAP 17. There's an information panel about flat Earth below it.
What?
You mean like in the recommended?
EFAP 17. Oh. I'm gonna check it out.
Everybody's always suggesting to dunk on flat earthers. Like, they're dumb. Everyone knows that. Don't need this. No effort. Takes no effort whatsoever.
How does the timeline work? Are we supposed to pretend the 3 films through the films don't exist? It's like, yeah, they want you to think they don't exist.
I don't see any flat Earth thingies.
The director's cut that has the scene with the chip. T-800 should have been remorseful about skull screwing his wife to death and promptly killing his adopted son during a game of catch. The special edition to T2 is basically the default cut now, like the Blade Runner director's cut, so yes, it's canon. Well, this is the problem. It's really hard to define the canon when you have multiple releases of film. What you can do is just make it specific to your review. So, like, you can review the film as a sequel to one of those 3 editions. I would pick the director's cut because it's the fucking best cut, so... Besides, the director's cut. Mostly go with the director's cut for canon, right? have to check, because it's the same with DS2. I reviewed Scholar of the First Sin because it's the definitive edition, and when the developers tell you it's the definitive one, it's like, okay, so this is good job, I guess. Anyway, this movie feels like a remix of ideas from other sequels. It kind of is, yeah. There's a lot of stuff you can pull from different places. I'd say T2 is the biggest influence, but definitely a couple. Whose idea was it to Jake Skywalker my Sarah Connor and kill off John? I will kill you in Minecraft. Oh my goodness.
It's fucked up, dude.
Do EFAP movies on Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf? When will you? It's magical. I mean, we're not against it. Produce 50% of the milk, why 13% of rhinos do, Ah, racist Yoda. That's the account that said that. Dun 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 da da dun. Do you get it? Do you understand that you're watching a Terminator movie yet? Yeah, I know. Hey guys, are you as baffled as I am by the claims that Joker is dangerous, derivative, shallow, self-indulgent, and emotionally vacant? They're all wrong, so don't really bother me. I just say they're wrong. Hi Wags.
Go ahead.
Oh, just hi Wags. Woes kisses Palpatine to save the galaxy. Oh, I wish that actually did happen. Sorry the Dark Fate was bad, fellas. At least Sans is still in Smash. Also, Arnie Terminator is in Mortal Kombat 11 with older movie skins and all.
Hooray.
Yeah, I put down my agreements, or I put down agreements. At my college, Gil talked about women in sci-fi films, said Rey isn't a Mary Sue because Rey was an orphan and Luke was privileged.
Solid. No, it makes sense.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the reaction. Love both you and J Batwoman vid. J Batwoman vid, is that you now?
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
Maybe it says love you both you and Jay, but then it just says Batwoman vid after it. So no, I think it's about you. Thoughts on Die Hard? Love the first, third, and fourth. I love the first. I like the third. I think the fourth is okay. And I haven't seen the fifth one because I've heard terrible things. I want Palpatine's head in a jar on a floating chair. We're not going to get it, but that would be awesome. Have you seen the Netflix Castlevania show? It's a great adaptation of the games and it's well written. Definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it. Again, heard good things, have not seen it yet though.
It is pretty good. I have seen it. I will recommend it as well.
Just watch Dave Cullen's Dark Fate spoiler review along with Mr. H and Terminator fans. What an absolutely repugnant film. It's the big gay 1000. Yep. Do an EFAP on SVU Gamergate episode with JLongBone. I mean, we can. I'm already planning on... We've got something planned to watch with JLongBone. Don't mind another thing? It'll be great. Thoughts about Outer Worlds? I've heard good things, but I've also had a suspicious amount of women in the leader roles. That's a reference to a person we covered. But yeah, I don't know anything about it, so I can't really say. When are you guys complaining about Terminator Dark Fate? You get to look at women. How is the all-powerful Rey not privileged? Fucking, I don't know. Because she grew up in a desert. She may be a god, but she lives in a desert, so... Mola, I'm asking you to look at the film as a Terminator fanatical universe. It doesn't have to make sense. It's a movie about robots for children. Yep. And does Wags wank as high as anyone in... Sorry, does Wags wank as high as any in Wome? Whom
yes,
I...
yes.
I'm gonna say yes. And that about... So, yes, it would make sense since you both are here. Do you want to say something about your channels before we sign out? We peace out. Jay and Al are already gone, so they don't get to plug now. Terrible.
Get fucked.
JLongBone, do you want to go first? Talk about your tisms.
Oh yeah. Well, my channel right now I'm doing reactions to Batwoman episodes. That's where my life is headed right now.
Very nice.
I do commentary videos though, and I do reactions, just like, and movie reviews. It's a hodgepodge of shit. And
Wonderful.
so sometimes I'm funny, sometimes I'm not. Check it out.
And Mel, do you do anything on YouTube yet? No.
No, I'm working on it, as you are aware. But as of now, there's only my Twitch channel where things are happening. Well, not now. I'm in Longman territory. I'm right below on the lower floor right now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, just right now, just chilling out on the Twitch, playing games. You might know the drunk streams we do, where like lots of different random EFAP people just appear. Also, just in normal streams. Yeah, just hanging out, having some fun.
Find them on El Commander Twitch channel, and then find them in the video section also. But you can also find him on his YouTube channel, which is just Metal Commander.
Yes,
as well. It's
which is
all there.
As of now, like the only video I made myself is the highlight video I made, and other than that, there's only like the VODs from Twitch that I go and upload there.
And yeah, in terms of what's coming next, October 31st, we're gonna stream a spooky video game. Me and Mel.
Yes.
The next Batwoman episode will be out by then, probably, and you'll see all three of us in some way involved in that. Our different matters, because it's gonna be hilarious, I imagine. And then I'll be deciding in the next couple of days if I'm gonna make a Dark Fate video. I'd say it's more likely yes than no, as in like sooner rather than later. But like I'm waiting on Joker to come out on Blu-ray before I touch it as well. That's kind of like I want to get more details right, and you can't with cam copies because you can often not even hear the dialogue. Subtitles for anything. But yeah, we'll get around to everything. That's the hope. Because the thing is, we're all running out of time. Episode 9's coming out soon. That's gonna be a disaster.
Oh god. I might actually pay to see that because I'm gonna be out of town during that time. I'm gonna be at my vacationing with my mom. So who knows? I might convince her to go see it with me. So just
Ellen, nothing will make sense, and that's okay. Last few super chats. Molo, watch season 1 of Batman animated series. I may do at some point. Did you know Star Wars Episode 9 is the 9th movie in the fan fiction cinema? In fan fiction cinema, I mean, actually Zootopia, EFAP, Longbone, as well as You Know Why.
oh god.
Zootopia work for that format? I don't even know. Is it something we could laugh at a lot? I'm assuming it is.
Well, all right, wait. How the you're gonna have to blur out so much shit because it's just gonna be nothing but furry porn.
Oh, no.
The
Zootopia?
whole thing. Wait, they're talking about the movie.
I was like, holy
My
fuck.
mind-
Was
my
this
mind
movie
went
something
somewhere
completely different? But yeah, no, that's a possibility as well. Did you get my super chat? Sorry if I missed it. The one that said about Dave Cullen's video? Well, like I said, I might check it out. Not got a huge amount of time because but it's a possibility. I got so many videos to watch. The people reminding you that Remarkable Republican wants on EFAP probably aren't expecting an intellectual debate. They probably just want to laugh at your pain while you speak with him. I mean, what, you wanted to like bring him on like fucking a cloud like in Joker? Like I said, me and Rags are really the thing is, he would be taking a slot for something else we could set up. We're not, I don't know, we just don't think we'll get much content out of him. Don't know what the hell is going on with him. And I have he's one of those people where it's in like a section where you're like, oh, he wants to privatize the military on Mars while also claiming that Luke is a gay lesbian, a lesbian. Whatever. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on there? And you just want to like move away while closing doors and stuff. So yeah, it's fine. He wins the debate, okay? If ever he thought everything we said about him was wrong. It's funny I'm talking about this with you two. You two are here for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good old Loud Soup.
If I created a Cards Against Humanity style game full of EFAP references, would you play it? Bow to the Leper Messiah? I mean, I think so. If it functioned pretty well, we'd probably give it a shot. I don't know if we could make an EFAP gaming out of it, but like, I would get everyone together to, I say everybody, me, Rags, and probably a couple of people. Like, I don't see why not, but don't make it if the entire point is to see us play it, just in case things fall apart or whatever. Only do it if you're having fun with it, sort of thing. Did you see my tweet about no seats available for Star Wars Episode 9? What do you think about this? All I knew was that there's a shit ton of seats available in my cinema, and then loads of people started posting different screenshots of how they're not filling seats as much as Disney are claiming they are. Which I don't really care about that much. Box office will tell everyone anyway, but yeah, like they may have filled or had full or no seats available. Like I could believe. Yes, what did you think I thought? You're dirty, JLongBone. She's experienced a lot of horrible things in life, and she never knows exactly what. Any plans to do an EFAP on Mass Effect with Smudboy? I can wait a few years. I've not played it, so I'd be useless. Almost. Yeah, that's about it. So is there anything you guys want to say before we go?
Don't waste your money on that movie.
Well,
That's about it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, it's been fun. Thank you very much for the donations, folks. Kind. And we will be back on EFAB in about just time is the intention. And there'll be some things coming along the way. Don't go see this film. That is a good idea. This will be back up on Moolah, like a day's time or whatever.
Yes.
Till then, we shall see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.